feed from Drury. Colorado back on with the quick release off the feed from Drury.
Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy,
Well recovered by
undeniably refreshing and available in 3 flavors: strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
All the protection you want, none of the weight. Introducing Timberland Pro's Boondock Ultra Light Work Boots. Don't let this Boondock yet, but the Timberland
Cunningham is accepting the defensive challenge. Mitchell steps back. Raindrops.
Boondock Ultralights now at all 3 of our Edmonton job site workwear locations and online at jobsiteworkwear.ca.
Cunningham is
Workwear, tough jobs.
Devers hits a high drive here.
Businesses across
And that's home run number 5 of the year.
Here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. You've known and trusted us as Canada's lawn expert since 1979. In all that time, the only thing we've loved to watch grow and flourish more than your lawn is our community. You've given us so much over the years, and we love to give back. Our community events crew is on the streets, at the festivals, and helping grow great causes and charities across the city. We love knowing your lawn is taken care of, and we'll help take care of the community too. Visit greendrop.com, and we'll see you out there.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me...
The Jason Gregor Show.
Well recovered by Middleton. Drury gloves it down. Kelly. Score! Parker Kelly with the quick release off the feed from Drury.
On Sports 1440.
Cunningham is accepting the defensive challenge. Mitchell step back. Raindrops.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Devers hits a high drive to right. Here. And that's home run number 5 on the year.
Well, a terrific Tuesday afternoon. How are you? Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province. PlayAlberta.ca, and it's a Lotto Max Tuesday, $15 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. We got, we got a busy show. Wyshynski will be by. We got Terry Ryan, Jason Strudwick, McCarthy, Brian Newton will join us. Spec, also Akeem Mesidor, first-round draft pick in the National Football League to Connor Halley's Chargers. So he will join us. We got 2 minute warning with Tater. Got lots of order stuff to discuss. You can get involved, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. So let's start with the story that I think is on everybody's mind. Frank Saravalli puts out a report today that the Oilers had asked permission to speak with Bruce Cassidy for their not vacant, but evidently to see if he'd want to be interested in their head coaching job. Now, let's make one thing abundantly clear. I have no issue if the Oilers want to fire their coach. That's their choice. We can debate whether that's right or wrong. Fine. But how you go about it, there are ways that you can do things with professionalism and class. If you've decided that Chris Knobloch is not your coach of the future, no problem. Fire him. It's the offseason. In season, I can understand, you know what, geez, we're going to make a coaching change. We got to have our next coach lined up. That's normal. Okay, it happens. However, And even then, it doesn't always happen right that time. Sometimes you fire the coach and then the next day you have a press conference, right? But you've talked to your new coach. Makes sense. Off-season is totally different. Look in sports, the regular season ends and literally that day, the next day, coaches get fired. Happens all the time. And then the team goes through a search of who's going to be their next head coach. Now, two things here. If the Edmonton Oilers have reached out to Bruce Cassidy, but only Bruce Cassidy, well, that's a problem. Why would you hire a coach and only interview one coach? What are you doing? You have the opportunity to have a reset. You fire a coach, especially in the offseason. In season, usually then you still interview a few, but lots of them could be working, so it's a little bit harder. In the offseason, you have way more opportunities. And most importantly, you have time to go through a proper hiring process. So why do you have your head coach twisting in the wind? What are you doing? I'm sorry. It reeks of unprofessionalism. There's zero reason to do it. Call up Chris Knobloch, shake his hand. Thanks for everything. We're going in a different direction. Simple, clean, short, easy. Then you move on. Why hasn't that happened? Give me one good reason why it hasn't happened. Because there's none. There's none that makes sense. Well, maybe they were reaching out to Cassidy to see if he's interested. What do you mean? He's already told the world he's interested. He went on tour talking about, hey, man, I would love to coach in Canada. It would be unbelievable to bring the cup back to Canada. And he's right. So don't tell me if he's interested. Of course he's interested. You get the chance to coach McDavid and Draisaitl and maybe be the one to help push him over the limit. Sure. You'd also probably be the next head coach to realize, geez, maybe there's a reason why this group hasn't won. What's the main consistency here? Lack of consistency. Lack of commitment defensively. Right? Short frustration. Rinse, wash, repeat. That's what the organization does. Now, again, I have no problem if they want to let Chris Knobloch go. Right? Good for him. He's got a 3-year contract. Right now, he loves coaching. He'd want to coach. But financially, he'll be fine. But just because someone will be fine financially doesn't mean you treat them like junk. What did Chris Knobloch do? Did he ever disrespect the organization? Did he ever insult anyone? Did he ever embarrass anyone? Did he ever act in a way that was like, oh, geez, this guy's a real piece of work? Nope. So why not just let him go? So now you're going to send out a press release, and trust me, there's not walking this back. This isn't, well, we were just going to see if Bruce, and if Bruce wasn't interested, well, then we're going to keep Chris. Really? No one wants to be in that situation. Doesn't work for anybody. And clearly, there's been no contact. I can tell you for a fact there hasn't been contact. So you have a coach who's just twisting in the wind right now. I don't see a need for it. You can be mad as a fan, but if your response is, well, I don't feel sorry for him because he's getting paid, great. Money doesn't solve everything. And nor, just because somebody's getting paid doesn't mean, you know what, let's just treat him with class, because he doesn't look bad. How does he look bad? He's the coach that helped get the team to consecutive Stanley Cup finals. To suggest he did no good is just ridiculous. But it's an organizational, I think there's issues that this organization has to look at in how they go about their business. We could do a deep dive on it. Okay? There's lots of questionable things that are done in the organization, on and off the ice. And now we can debate over line changes and whatever, and that's all fun. But there are ways to treat people. And when you get a reputation not treating people well, I'm a big believer that eventually it comes back to you. Now, that doesn't mean that people will disagree with how you go about things. Right? Not everybody's going to like you. Welcome to my world. I sleep very well at night. I don't care if people online or people listen to the show disagree with me or don't like me. It doesn't impact my life. Sorry. Doesn't. Now, if I've made decisions that impact loved ones, and they thought I treated him like crap, well, that would be different. And then I would definitely want to talk about that. But if you disagree with who I think's on the power play, like honestly, not bothering me. But any business owner out there knows there's certain ways to go about how you let people go. No one loves firing someone, unless I guess they were a complete POS, right? A complete one. I know there's people say, yeah, but Gregor, the report was he didn't play who the managers want. Well, see, what's interesting about that report, I question it. Because every GM I've ever spoke to over time says the coach plays who he wants to play. Because if the GM tells you, you know what, I want you to play blank, I want these two guys to play with McDavid. And the coach's like, well, I don't really want to play. No, you play him. Well, then if it doesn't work, how can you go? Then you're going to fire the coach because he did what you wanted and it didn't work, but he has to be responsible for it? No chance. It's not how it works. You can't hire the coach and then tell him, yeah, but you got to play this guy and this guy. It's not how it works. You hire the coach, you let him coach. Now, if he doesn't coach how you want, you can have a discussion and be like, you know what? I don't think this is our guy. That's fine. That's your job as a GM. That's your advantage as a GM. But the minute the GM starts telling coaches who to play in what situations, that's the problem. It's not just a coach's fault. I would blame more of the GM. Get your hands out of it. That's not your job. Your job is to find the players. Now, you talk to your coach beforehand. Hey, do you like this guy? Like that guy? And guess what? You might both like him till you get him here. And then you play him, and it's like, well, this guy's playing like a bag of pucks. What is coach just spoke? Well, the GM wants him to play, so I guess I just got to keep playing him over and over and over again. That makes no sense. Right? It makes no sense. Hey, Greg, you can make an argument Chris has ruined younger players. What the hell are you talking about, Steve? Tell me how he ruined Matt Savoy. Please tell me. How did he ruin him? He didn't ruin him at all. Ty Emberson's developed. Pod Colson's developed really well. They don't have any young players. Which other young players? He played Dylan Holloway in the playoffs, and then Dylan Holloway, that was his first year. Right? He was a rookie. Who are these young players that he's ruined? What are you talking about? Like, don't make up stuff to make yourself feel better. Bring it with facts. Show me the young players he didn't develop. They developed Matt Savoy perfectly. Went to the minors for a year. Last year comes up, starts in the bottom, gets in some penalty kill time, gains some confidence, moves up, end of the year, gets a little power play time. When Draisaitl's hurt, produces, scores 18 goals. Awesome. It's pretty damn good first season, I'll tell you. 18 goals. Do you know how many Oiler rookies in the salary cap era have scored more goals than Matt Savoy? One. Taylor Hall, when he had 22. It's the only forward rookie. Well, it's actually the only rookie. Scored more goals than Matt Savoy as a rookie in Edmonton in 21 years. But the coach ruined him? Stop. Deal in facts, please. Now, the Oilers, so where do they go from here? Now, Vegas, you know what? If you read Frank's report, he doesn't say that they're never going to grant permission. They're just delaying it because technically they have that right. He's still under contract, right? They relieved him of his duties. Now, you do that because in the contract, because we have people wondering, well, Gregor, maybe they were just going to have Knobloch work with Cassidy. Come on. When was the last time that worked out? Hey, head coach, you know what? We're going to demote you to associate coach. And oh, by the way, in the wording of the contract, Chris's contract states his roles and responsibilities, because I've seen coaches' contracts. I've never seen his, but I've seen other coaches' contracts, and how it's outlined is this is the coach's responsibility. He's the head coach responsible for That's what his contract states. So if they brought in Chris Knobloch, they would have to either get rid of Knobloch or rework his contract. Well, why would he rework his contract, which isn't going to pay him as much to be an associate coach? Plus, now you're just there. You're demoted. It's not. That's never going to work, right? And Bruce Cassidy coming to Edmonton to be an associate coach under Knobloch. No, well, I can tell you that if that was the case, it wasn't Knobloch's choice. So there's another problem for the org. You can't do it. That was never the thing here. They were clearly talking to Cassidy, hoping to talk to Cassidy, I should say, so he could be potentially their next head coach, which again is fine if that's what you want to do, but just fire your head coach. It's the off season. Why are you sneaking around talking to other people when you have a coach? Hey, man, we have a head coach. Now, I know coaches. I know this for a fact. Coaches have said, a team has called them, said, hey, are you interested in our head coaching job? They're like, you have a coach. Until you don't have a coach, don't talk to me. Because it's not the right thing to do. Regular season different. Hey, you know what? We're looking to make a coaching change. We got a game on Tuesday. Now it's Sunday. That happens. But in the offseason, they're like, no, if you still have a guy in a contract, get rid of him first. Then we'll talk. Because when you're in that situation, you would hope, because trust me, coaches know that for the most part, they're hired to be fired. That's how it works. I understand the business. Lots of places are like that. That's fine. Coaches know it. There's a certain risk that goes with the job. That's okay. You know what you sign up for. But you don't sign up to be just twisting in the wind and now knowing that your time is done. Chris lives in Edmonton. He has family. His son was going to play for the Huskies this year. Unfortunately, he got an injury, so he's out. But so you got a son, 18, 19. You think, hey, what's happening to your dad? Oh, I read this online. How do you think that feels? How do you think it feels? And guess what? It easily could have been avoided. Chris, we're going in a different direction. Thank you for what you did for the organization. We wish you best of luck. You're going to get paid out in your contract. It's literally a minute conversation. Anybody who's ever been fired, you know you don't want to drag it out. It's like a breakup. You want the quickest breakup possible. No one likes the long breaker-upper. Right? You never invite the person you're breaking up with to your house. You always go to them because then you know you can leave. Because that's what it is. Firing is kind of like a breakup. Hey, you know what? We're going in a different direction. And that's fine. That's within their rights. The owner wants to pay the head coach not to coach. That's within his rights. Great. So do it. What are you waiting for? It's a bad look. And to me, I'd be a hypocrite when I sit here and talked about how much of the dysfunction there is in Vancouver that comes from within the organization. And this, to me, is not a professional way to do business. So that's how I view it. It's not professional. Chris Knobloch, you can disagree with what he was as a coach. Maybe you don't think he's a good coach. Totally fine. Doesn't deserve to be treated like that. That's just simple, basic human ones, right? Basic. So 833-401-1440. Hey, Greg, is there any chance Frank is wrong? No. There is, Frank's pretty connected. Frank's not just going to make that up. And, if I'm connecting dots here, I know people are like, oh, Vegas would leak it out. Vegas wouldn't leak it out. Right? Coaches have agents. Agents like, hey, man, these guys, you want to, because you talk to the agent, right? Hey, we're interested in wanting to talk to your client. Oh, okay, great. Oh. And you ask for permission. Well, what happened? Why aren't you calling? Well, they said we couldn't talk to him. What? And then it gets out. To me, it'd be pretty simple to see where it come from. But I could understand it. You're protecting your client. You want to give them the opportunity to interview for jobs. Right? LA has an opening. Edmonton has an opening. Both in the Pacific Division. And historically, now, the Oilers, the only good news is if they do hire Cassie, at least they don't have to pay a draft pick. Still the stupidest rule in the history of the NHL, and I know they've changed it. Back when teams would fire a coach or a GM, fire him. But then if another team wanted to hire him, they'd have to pay for a draft pick. Like, what? Makes no sense. So either way, that's where it's at on the Edmonton Oilers. They're obviously going to have the 6th coach in the Connor McDavid era. And I think it would be the 10th head coach for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Like, maybe, just maybe, you might look at a different pattern. Because the pattern's been pretty clear in Edmonton. It's either the coach or the goaltending. Right? Those are the ones. The whole cores remain intact the entire time. None of them ever got traded or been like, hey, you know what? We need better. And hey, the Oilers have been close, right? You go to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Maybe one of those redirections goes in the net rather than over the net. Who knows what happens? They're close. Not horribly run. You have a similar pattern that happens all the time. Coach's fault, goalie's fault. Rinse, wash, repeat. And it looks like it's repeating itself again. I'll say this. The new coach, whether it's Bruce Cassidy or someone else, when they come in, there'll be the decision on what happens, right? And the other thing is here, like, let's take a step back. Like, look at, so you have the owner who has Paul Coffey underneath him, right? Well, so Paul Coffey, how do other people in the organization? It's unfair to Paul, but everyone's like, well, geez, he's here. He gates his eyes. Like, that's dysfunction. It's not a great look. Lots of things the organization has to look at to be better. And even then, you could do all the right things and still not win. Don't get me wrong. Doesn't guarantee it. But for me, I just think this is a bad look for the organization today. Bad look. And we'll see where it goes. I do think eventually, Gary Bettman's going to say to Vegas, hey, you can't hold back a guy from interviewing for another job. So the Oilers will be patient because they have time. It's only May 12th. Lots of coaches being hired late May into June. It's not a big deal. But hopefully they would have the class, because now it's a whatever to let Knobloch go that he's not going to be part of the organization, because he's not. Quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, active lane management, a park view rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors: strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
All the protection you want, none of the weight. Introducing Timberland Pro's Boondock Ultra Light Work Boots. The lightest Boondock yet, with the Timberland durability you expect. Conquer long shifts, move faster, and work safer with all-day comfort in a lightweight package. Find your Boondock Ultra Lights now at all 3 of our Edmonton job site workwear locations and online at jobsiteworkwear.ca.
Job site workwear, tough different tough jobs.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I want to give you something for free. A free roof assessment on your used RV. And remember, basically every RV is a used RV.
What do I get for my free roof assessment, Rick?
Well, Bob, we're going to climb up on top of your RV and take a good detailed look at your roof. Check all the joints, connections, and seals. Then we'll give you a written report so you know exactly what's going on up there. You should do this at least twice a year.
You're just doing this out of the goodness of your heart, Rick?
Cards on the table, Bob. About 1 in 10 RVs we see have something wrong with the roof. If yours is one of them, then yes, we're going to offer to sell you a repair. But we'd rather do a small repair when your leak is small than sell you a big, expensive repair when it's so bad you can see it from the inside. And you don't have to accept our offer to fix it. It really is free either way. So come by No Bull RV and know for sure.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people that know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
$225. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely day. It's lots going on in the sporting world. We are going to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, and their newest drink drop is coming ice cold. From creamy crafted sodas to sparkling juicy refreshers. Explore the entire lineup of new flavors, now pouring only at McDonald's. As we are welcome to the show from ESPN, Greg Wyshynski joins us. Greg, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm intrigued by all of the things happening behind the scenes in hockey as we watch a pretty darn good playoff tournament too.
Yeah, well, it's I came out to me and said I have no problem if a team wants to fire their coach, but if you're, I don't know why the Oilers wouldn't have just fired Chris Knobloch rather than have him now twist in the wind. Everybody knows they're out searching for their next head coach, so the announcement when they make him is going to be, oh, well, we already knew that, so it's a nothing burger. To me, it's a very unprofessional way. This isn't the regular season where you're playing every second day and you have to find a replacement. I get that. It's the off season. You fire your coach. Then you go through a hiring process. I don't understand why they're doing it this way.
I mean, unless they wanted to have their cake and eat it too. I mean, I often thought about Knobloch and like the idea of like you only fire him if there's a better option out there for you. Bruce Cassidy is clearly a better option, right? So like that makes total sense to go down that avenue and try to explore it. But let's say you don't get Cassidy. Let's say that he decides that 5 years from the LA Kings is better than a 2-year window to maybe win with Connor in Edmonton. Now what? Is Laviolette an improvement? Is any number of recycled coaches an improvement than the guy that helped get you to 2 straight finals? I don't know, but I read your piece and you're right. I mean, at this point, they've made their bed. Like they've completely undercut the guy. He doesn't have any sway, doesn't have any gravitas in the room anymore because they know they were looking for a replacement.
Yeah.
So now you have to fire him, basically.
Yes. Yeah. If they were trying to have their cake and eat it too, well, there's no longer any cake on the table. It's pretty much done in that regard. You look at now Vegas comes out and, Frank Saravalli had his report that they haven't said no. They're just said, we haven't said yes, which kind of makes me chuckle in a way. And because I guess it's within their rights to not have to grant it right away, but something would tell me that there'll be a call eventually here from Gary Bettman, and eventually Cassidy will get his opportunity to interview.
It's the only way this can go. I saw some people speculating, well, why doesn't Cassidy just say, I quit and give the money back or whatever? And Gary Bettman also doesn't like that. I mean, that's, if you think about other scenarios where that could play out, let's say a guy signs a contract, all of a sudden his dream job opens up and he's like, I know I got this contract, but you guys can keep the money. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
That's also frowned upon by the league. So even if the coach has been fired, there are protocols in place. There are things that are kind of agreed to in a informal way between everybody in the league, that this is just how it's done. So you're right. I mean, the NHL frowns upon executives and coaches being held hostage by their contracts if they've been let go, and they frown upon people quitting. So what we just talked about, which is permission being granted, I think is the only way this can go. And again, it just seems like they're just being pricks about the whole thing, right? Like they're being Vegas about the whole thing. I mean, if I sympathize with them because he is under contract for another season, and you're trying to prevent him from going to Edmonton and teaching a potential playoff opponent how to play defense. And by the way, having an institutional knowledge about everybody on the roster. So I get that, but ultimately you fired him because you don't think he's a good coach anymore.
Yeah, it was like, thankfully, the worst rule in the history of NHL rules, which is saying a lot. But when they used to, hey, we can fire a coach, but guess what? Now we get a second or a third round pick if you want to hire him. It's still the most bizarre.
So you didn't like that?
No, I thought it was I thought it was terrible. Like, we're firing a coach, and now not only do you have to pay, so we get to save money by not paying him. Now you got to pay us a second or a third round pick to take him off our hands.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second, because let's say that you need a different voice. Like, no one's saying that Bruce Cassidy is a bad coach. They're just saying maybe he lost the room and you need John Tortorella to get it back. But you still have this guy under contract for another year at $4.5 million. Well, then you have an asset. And so if somebody wants that asset, couldn't you compel them to give up something to acquire that asset? From that perspective, I actually kind of like the idea of teams being able to trade for coaches. But I think the problem is, Gregor, is that under the cap, you could potentially trade something that has cap relevance for something that doesn't count against the cap. And that's really kind of the issue.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that we go into a whole, you're withholding someone's opportunity to get a job, even though they're getting paid, but they get the other job. And I just never liked it. I always thought it was kind of, you said, hey, this guy might be a good coach, but he's not the good coach for us. Because I would argue and say, well, then don't sign him to 3 years if you know he has a short spin life, right? Like, you knew that going in.
Can't predict these things.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, I'm just happy. I'm just happy that Vegas once again is flexing its unique love of both nostalgia and sentimentality in the way that it treats ex-employees.
Yes.
They've always been great with it. They've never had a problem with anybody leaving the organization.
Yes, true. And Edmonton letting their coach twist in the wind is a class way to do it as well. you had a report. I just saw one of your tweets about, a lot of people thought that Gold was going to be the next GM in Vancouver, but now it's Ryan Johnson. And a lot of people had said it was down to the two of them. Johnson's been in the organization for a long time, and hey, sometimes it's, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. Not saying that either one's the devil, but what do you make of this? And what are you hearing on the Gold front?
So a couple things. I've never experienced something when it comes to a GM opening where at multiple times in the last couple of weeks, everyone I've talked to was convinced of one thing that didn't happen. Everybody I talked to was convinced Pierre Dorion was getting the job. Now, maybe that was a trial balloon that they wanted out there, and then when they saw all the people in Vancouver grabbing their torches, they decided not to give him the job. And then everyone I talked to in the last 24, 48 hours was convinced that Evan Gold was getting this job. But I understand that might not necessarily be the case. As I speculated on social media, I do wonder if maybe money was part of the consideration here when you are paying guys in Jim Rutherford and Patrick Alvin that aren't working for you anymore millions of dollars not to work for you. You probably don't want to then spend more millions of dollars on the person you're hiring to replace them. So we'll see where it goes. I obviously, Ryan Johnson's the guy that they like. He's been in the organization before, and I've learned, Gregor, to not judge a hiring just because someone's been in the organization. My harsh education on that was Brian McClellan with the Washington Capitals, who was working under George McPhee. I'm like, why would you give the job to this guy? He's been part of the problem. But sometimes the guy in the organization is there for a long time during all of the bad stuff, but he hasn't had the gravitas, the voice, the sway, the job to affect the change that he wants to affect. And I've been more open-minded since then about people in the organization getting these jobs.
Yeah. Okay. Greg Wyshynski joins us. Greg, the Minnesota Wild, obviously the injuries, I've always said this, man, injuries are the one thing that you can build a great team. Injuries come and all of a sudden it's just like, when you're building your Lego set and your sibling comes over and just crushes it and you're rattled for a long time. And if Jonas Brodin and Eriksson Ek, two of their best defensive-minded players, have been out for the whole series, they're not traveling for Game 5 to Colorado. I can't guarantee they would have won if they're in the lineup, but it makes it a lot harder that they're out, especially when the Avalanche have 15 different scorers through 4 games. Everybody's contributing on that team.
Yeah, I mean, they're the team that can rely on Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar to win a game, or rely on Ross Colton and Parker Kelly, and that's why they're the Avalanche. I think the Eriksson Ek injury is the real crusher, because obviously we knew coming into the series there was one lineup spot where the Avalanche had an undeniable advantage, and that's up the middle. McKinnon, Brock Nelson, Kadri and Nick Waugh versus Eriksson Ek and whatever Ryan Hartman, I guess, whatever else the Wild have in the middle. It kind of puts into sharp relief what Bill Guerin's going to have to focus on in this offseason if he wants to level up and be able to take out the Avalanche, assuming they don't win this series. And I'm sure he will. He's shown a propensity for pretty bold moves. But again, like, that was the big advantage I thought the Avalanche had coming into the series, and with Eriksson Ek's injury, it just kind of exacerbated it.
Yeah. The Sabres, few changes tonight, in goal, on defense, up front. I'm sure Sam Carrick is probably out due to that punch from Jack Eye. No question. Looked like he got him right in the chin. That's the old boxer. Boom. That's like a KO right there. What do you make of the Sabres change in net?
I found it really interesting that, Lindy Ruff went through great pains to try not to have anybody speak ill of Alex Lyon's performance in Game 3 after that loss, and then decides not to play him in the next game. I really thought he was kind of like ceding the ground to have Alex continue on as the goalie, but he's given up a lot of goals in the last 2 games for the Sabres. And obviously they've got a tandem going anyway with Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. So, like, it makes sense to make the change. The Luke Schenn move is very much, I think, a response to how emotionally rattled, one might even say emotionally immature, the Sabres were in the previous game, unable to settle down. You've got a guy now that's got a ton more experience. I think these are fine little tweaks that you make in your lineup when you feel like a series might be getting away from you. And we'll see what happens in Game 4.
Do you think either one of Montreal or Buffalo can handle the Hurricanes?
I don't, in particular, especially because of how the Hurricanes have multiple lines going right now. I will say that, like, I think it's going to be a huge challenge if this Buffalo-Montreal series goes as long as it could, to keep the momentum going that the Hurricanes had. I know that they've been schooled in sitting out between rounds after Ottawa into the Philly series, but it is quite a long time. I think Montreal, to me, might give them a little bit more of a challenge, just because of some of their high-end guys, and because down the lineup they have been getting some better depth play. But, the Aho line is not alone now. You know, this Taylor Hall, Jackson Blake, Logan Stankoven line is the best in the playoffs right now. I wrote about Taylor Hall on ESPN.com today and got into the renaissance of his career with the Hurricanes. The key is Freddie Anderson. I mean, like, he's been probably their MVP even more than Taylor Hall in the first 2 rounds. We've seen him turn into a pumpkin all of a sudden in the postseason. We've seen him get hurt in the postseason. If either of those things happen, I think the Hurricanes are a little bit more vulnerable, but if they don't, then I think they represent the East in the Stanley Cup final.
And Anaheim, Vegas, it's down to a best of 3. Tortorella after game 4, hey, man, I'm not worried about my team, which doesn't surprise me because, man, it's been somewhat of a Jekyll and Hyde series. Like, Vegas looked dominant in game 3, and the Ducks didn't look very good, and then there was just kind of role reversal a little bit in game 4. Not that Vegas played horrible in game 4, but I thought Anaheim was clearly the better team. Do you have any sense of who you like in the final 3 games of this series?
I picked Vegas in 6. I don't feel great about it. The Mark Stone injury, whether he's in the lineup or out of the lineup, is a real devastating thing for that team. I mean, he's the spine of everything they do, whether it's the power play or offense or 5-on-5 defense. He's just so vital to that team. And then plus the Ducks seem like, outside of the one little hiccup against Vegas, they seem like they're really kind of figuring out what they need to do to close out opponents, to play quality defense. They're getting good performances out of the veteran guys with rings that you'd expect to, or not with rings, but that have played, deep into the playoffs, like Kaloran and others. So my fingers wrote Vegas in 6. I'll stick with that, but my heart is telling me that Anaheim might pull this thing out.
Well, it should be fun. Where do you come out on the off-season trade? Everybody's like, oh, there's going to be lots of trades. There's going to be lots of trades. I'm not sold. There might be 1 or 2, sure. I'm not necessarily sold. We're going to see a lot.
I think we're going to see a ton of them. Yeah, because I mean, like,
okay. I hope you're right.
There's no free agents to sign.
Yes.
For example, so Charlie Coyle signs for 6 years today, right? And now you take him off the market. You look at the center spot in the market, and it's like, okay, if he resigns and Malkin resigns, your top center is Jason Dickinson, probably at this point. It is, and that's not to besmirch the good name of Jason Dickinson. It's just to say that there isn't a lot available in the center spot, to the point where Don Waddell, the GM of the Blue Jackets today, said between 10 and 13 teams called him to try to get the negotiating rights to Charlie Coyle before free agency. Like, that's where we are right now. So if they're willing to make trades for the negotiating rights to Charlie Coyle, they'll be willing to make trades for people that are actually under contract and trying to, solve problems on their roster. So I think we're going to see a real busy trade market.
Well, I hope you're right. Well, I got to believe it to see it, unfortunately, in this case, because I've heard that many times. Usually leading up to the draft, there's going to be lots of trades. And then it's like, pick 26. So I hope there's trades. It should be fun. There's lots of teams that'll be interested, but we'll see what happens. Greg, as always, appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Hey, by the way, do you is that like, what's that called? Because I know you're trendy in the hair. Is that a fade? What do you call that hairstyle you're rocking right now?
That is called, I had hat hair and then sprayed it to put it up.
Oh, so is that like,
but
the mousse in there?
Some just your general run of the mill extra hold hairspray.
Like,
and then also, it's so people that are watching can refer to my hair as Lego hair. I've gotten that a lot. The fact that I have hair that looks like this, and they
well, it's pretty thick. I'll say that. Like, can you like that? Looks like it got a thick coif going on there, right? Like, there's no.
I mean,
there's no 4 or 5 heads coming from you anytime soon.
I am blessed with remaining follicles late in life.
Good.
I didn't have to go to Turkey. It's all there. It's all me.
You and
probably needs to be a different color than what it is, but it's all me.
You and Connor Halley both blessed with incredible. Like, I don't even think Connor can run his fingers through his hair. His hair is so thick. So it's nice. I was just curious if that was like the new fit. Kind of looks like. Do you remember Astro Boy?
Yeah, Astro Boy, Jimmy Neutron. I get a lot of it all the time.
Nice. I like it. Awesome. Okay, Wish, have a good one, buddy.
Take care.
There you go. That's Greg Wyshynski joining us. It's the wonders of when we do the show on YouTube now. So you can see a lot of the guests, see what's going on. I was just kind of curious. Obviously, I'm not up to date on what the hairstyles are called. It's not anything like other than just take it to the wood. It's pretty much it, and I do it myself, so I don't have to ask for it. But I was just curious, Cons, if now Con's always wearing a hat, so it's always funny when I see him without a hat on because it's extremely rare to see Connor without a hat on. But it's there are limited times when it happens. Limited times. So, hey, Cons, yeah, look, you got a hat on right now.
Yeah, I mean, my hair is not that. I don't have what Greg's got going on. It's getting a little thin towards the back, but hanging on.
Well, maybe it's because it never breathes because you got the hat on all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of look forward to the day when I just get rid of the hair. Just
buddy,
you leave the house, you're good to go. You don't,
it's unbelievable.
I go to like a wedding or an event and I have to go get a haircut. Like, I look forward to the day where I just get rid of it all.
Dude, it is the biggest advantage is you can be ready in literally less than 2 minutes.
Yeah,
it's not hard, right? You throw on some deodorant, quick splash, shirt on, jeans, done. Super easy. It's the greatest. So, like, my wife's still like, we got to leave in 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I know. No problem. Walk in, come out. I'm ready. Let's go. Super easy. Quick break. We'll return to the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We got some stats of the day for you next.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way.
Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
This is you.
Hi.
And your cornhole team needs money.
Yeah, we do need money.
Plus, you've tried every fundraiser under the sun.
No kidding, and no one's buying my Cuban salted chocolate.
Scrap the chocolate and fundraise for your team, club, or charity at On the Rocks. Here's the deal. We'll create custom tickets for your event, which includes no cover, no line, and beverage before 10 p.m. Then you sell your tickets and keep all the profits.
That sounds easy.
It is. Fundraisers at On the Rocks. Book, party, cash. OnTheRocksYEG.com.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on. Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Taco Tuesday at OTR means $3 tacos from 5 to close, along with drink specials all day long. Jasper Ave 118th, online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2.49. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley at Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. And of course, PlayAlberta.ca. Get the Lotto Max. Also, tonight, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. The Thunder, like the Hurricanes, back-to-back sweeps. They've moved on to the conference finals. But tonight, we have some NHL action for you. The Canadians looking to go up 3-1 on the Sabres. And we're going to get stats of the day about Sabres in a quick sec. We got the Ducks and Vegas. It is now a best of 3 between those two. Who do you like? Vegas does have a home ice advantage. Teams are 1-1, 2-2 so far at home. So we'll see how that goes. But we'll get to some stats of the day in a second because there's a few classics to get to. But get in on those at PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use the Jason Gregor Show odds boost. Get a few specials on that. We got a lot of texts coming in. This one definitely made me laugh from Ed. Hey, guys, maybe Knobloch hasn't been fired by the Oilers yet because he doesn't have Skype. Oh, classic. Now, I know that, and it's funny because in that situation, hey, at least they did fire him before they hired the new guy, right? And if he was in another part of the world, so I don't know. Skype was probably better than a phone call. At least it's face to face. That one, I got people that they got upset about it, but like if he's over in Europe, like do you say, hey, can you fly back to Edmonton? We want to have a meeting. And he's kind of like, well, why? Why don't we just have a Skype meeting? That's probably what he was saying at the time. But I do like the humor in it. So now let's get to our stats of the day brought to you by All Star Construction, who, they help build neighborhoods, doing a lot of underground work, but also they help build neighborhoods through a lot of their charitable endeavors. They big supporters of our Pyramid of Giving here on Sports 1440. They've donated to CASA for kids with cancer. Also, the Wellspring, Alberta Edmonton House, which is a cancer treatment center, did all the lighting and more. Big donation there from All Star Construction. So let's get to some of your stats of the day. Now, let's start with the NHL because this stat is kind of mind-blowing to me. In their franchise history, the Buffalo Sabres are 0-14 when trailing a series 2-1. They've never been able to come back from a 2-1 deficit. Like, that's not a crazy deficit. Especially, you win game 4 on the road, then you come back, you're up. Now it's a best of 3. You got 2 games. 0-14. The next closest, Nashville, is 0-12, and Ottawa 0-9. Never come back from a 2-1 deficit. So if you're a Habs fan, you're probably thinking, hey, maybe this is a good sign. Or is this the year of the Sabres? You end your 14-year drought. Well, 14 years without the playoffs. Now you get in, you win a round. Could this also be the first time? Because think about it. They were 0-14, and it was 14 years without the playoffs, but they didn't get to year 15. You never know. You never know. How about the Colorado Avalanche? So they now have 15 different goal scorers in this series against Minnesota. Through 4 games, 15 different guys have scored. The NHL record is 16 in a series set by multiple teams. So here's the guys. So they would need 2 of these guys to score a goal in game 5, or if Minnesota wins game 6. Brent Burns, Brett Kulak, Josh Manson. Now, Manson just played his first game of the series because he got back from injury. So he's in, Kulak's in, Burns is usually in. Up front, Logan O'Connor, the only regular forward who hasn't scored. Now, Joel Kiviranta drew in last game because Lehkonen is hurt. Now, we'll see if Lehkonen stays out. Then they'll have 2 forwards and 3 defensemen who could potentially score and get it up to 16, maybe 17. Another wild stat, like when you think of people that have been involved in an organization, you know, like a lot of Oilers fans, like, man, Kevin Lowe's been around lots. He was a player. He was a head coach. He was an assistant coach. He was GM, like did a lot of roles. Hartford moved to Carolina in 1997. And since then, the organization has played 96 playoff games from 97 until now. Rod Brindamore has been a player or coach in 94 of them. 97.9% of playoff games involve Rod Brindamore as a player or coach for the Carolina Hurricanes. That is a wild stat. And I should credit that. I got that one off of Yahoo earlier today, which I found pretty wild. Some other things to look at. Hey, we were talking about Vladdy Guerrero, and he is fighting it right now. So he's got no home runs in his last 19 games. He only has 2 doubles in that time, and he's batting .235. He has 14 singles, 2 doubles in his last 19 games, 16 for 68. And if you watch a lot of his hits, like they are infield dribblers. Like he is feeling it, or not feeling it, I should say. But you think it's bad for him. How about this? The dumpster? Or sorry, is it? No, the big dumper. It's like he's in the dumpster right now. Cal Raleigh. He hit 60 home runs last year. He went 0 for 4 last night. He's now 0 for his last 36. He hasn't had a hit since April 27th. He's batting .157 on the season, which is second worst amongst all qualified MLB hitters. And this guy hit 60 dingers last year. Now, he's still a good defensive catcher, but that is a wild stat for me. One of the best hitters in the game last year, he can't even get a hit, never mind a home run. Can't even get a hit. It's wild. NBA last night, I don't know if you saw Donovan Mitchell. He had 4 points at the half, and you're thinking, oh, this isn't good. Cleveland's going to go down. Well, he woke up, had 39 points in the second half. That is now tied for the most in NBA playoff history. Tied the great nickname of Sleepy Floyd, who was clearly not sleepy back in 1987. Mitchell also had his 5th career quarter where he had 20-plus points, which ties him with Steph Curry and the Canadian Jamal Murray for the most ever in NBA history. 20 points in 1 quarter. Those guys have each done it now 5 times, which is pretty damn impressive. So there you go. Some stats of the day brought to you by All Star Construction. The other stat, if you don't like it, because, hey, it's inevitable. When's the press release? I don't know. But Chris Knobloch is not going to be returning to coach the Edmonton Oilers. And you know what? If there was a press release today that said the Oilers have decided to part ways, we'd be like, okay, the Oilers have decided to part ways. Fine. Now, we could debate whether it's the right or wrong decision. That's okay. Right? You make a decision, not everybody's going to agree with it. That's totally fine. But here's the thing. They haven't sent out a release. What happened was Frank Saravalli broke the story that they've reached out and got said, no, thank you, at least for the time being, to speak with Bruce Cassidy for your not vacant job, but soon to be vacant, evidently, head coaching job. So, because you can't walk that back. Chris Knobloch knows they were looking for someone to replace him. His players know it. You can't have him coach in that situation. It's impossible. Right? Like, they're always going to be, oh, yeah, well, geez, do I really have to listen to the coach? Like, clearly the organization doesn't trust him. And I know you're going to say, well, people wouldn't do that, but yes, they would do that. It's kind of how it works. So, hey, boys, Rally's going full Chris Davis. Oh, that's a good pull. Yeah. Well, remember that season with the Orioles he had? It was unreal. And then he fell off of it. So, hey, Gregor, is it possible they've told Knobloch he's out and they're waiting to announce a firing? No, Matt, I can tell you 100% that is not the case. You would never tell a guy, hey, we're going to fire you, but we're not going to announce it until we have your replacement. Why would you? There's no need to do that. Are you saying, well, we don't want other teams to know that we're talking? Well, obviously you have to, because you have to ask Vegas for permission to speak to Bruce Cassidy. So they would know. And now they do know. And now the league knows. Now Knobloch knows. But now I can tell you without question that they have not told Knobloch that was their plan. That's no. I've never heard of something like, why would you do that? It's just, it was a decision that wasn't well thought out. Right? It's not illegal. It's just a bad decision. It doesn't look good. Let's get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Oh, baby, it's nice out. I've seen a lot of convertibles. Everybody's getting ready. Well, you know what? Make sure you've got your tires. If you don't have them now, get a new set. Some rubber on the road, fountaintire.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
2 games tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs at 5 o'clock. You got Canadiens and Sabres. Montreal looking to take a 3-1 series lead. Then at 7:30, Ducks in Vegas. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Sidney Crosby will be suiting up for Canada at this month's IIHF World Championship, replacing Islanders forward Matthew Barzal, who is out with an undisclosed injury, and Charlie Coyle signing a 6-year, $36 million deal with the Columbus Blue Jackets. He had 20 goals and 38 assists in 82 games last season. In the association, Spurs and Timberwolves meeting in San Antonio. Tip-off 6 o'clock. That series tied at 2 games apiece. And the Toronto Blue Jays looking to bounce back against the Rays once again. First pitch, 5:07. We'll have that one for you here on Sports 1440 immediately following the Jason Gregor Show on our AM feed. Elsewhere, Angels and Guardians. Orioles hosting the Yankees. The Rockies taking on the Pirates. White Sox up against the Royals. Padres in Milwaukee. Astros and Mariners. Cards get the Athletics, and the Dodgers hosting the Giants in the PWHL. They're back after the delay yesterday. Montreal and Minnesota. Puck drop at 5. Winner advances to the league final next week against Ottawa. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host and former NHLer Terry Ryan, also Jason Strudwick. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Oodle Noodle origin. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Start your day with a blast of sports. Kevin Carius, along with Brandon Douglas, brings the fire, the fun, and the fearless takes. Weekdays, 7 to 11. Text Kevin, 883-401-1440. Mornings with Sports 1440.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made
brought
Play
to
Alberta
you by
helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
A lot of you love hockey season. But when it comes to construction season, you're not as excited unless you work for GS Construction. It's true. As one season is winding down, ours is winding up with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team is hiring. GS Construction is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots it. Oh no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Since the 1930s, the Dorchester name has been synonymous with chuck wagon racing in Alberta. And now, it's just as well known for golf. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course is open for the season. A challenging 18-hole course nestled in the rolling coulees of central Alberta. Stunning views, reasonably priced, and only 40 minutes from Edmonton on newly paved roads. Play the course built with pioneer spirit and family pride. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course. Book your tee time today at dorchestergolf.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, if you do gamble, make sure to use your game sense. Go to GameSenseAB.ca and find out ways to help you stay within your limits. GameSenseAB.ca. I'm Jason Gregor, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Got a lot of other texts quickly, and then we'll get to TR. Hey, Gregor, I don't think it looks good. What if Vegas is the ones who threw the Oilers under the bus by feeding details of this front office convo to the media? Well, here's I would counter. The Edmonton Oilers clearly didn't think Chris Knobloch was their guy. Because if you did, you wouldn't be looking for other coaches, right? So just make that decision. Think about it. If they'd come out last week and announced Chris Knobloch had been fired, now there's a vacancy. Guess what? Now it's way easier. Everybody knows, oh, geez, yeah, Bruce, because you could even talk openly. Yeah, we'd like to talk. Bruce Cassidy's under contract, but yeah, all you'd have to do is press it. Yeah, you know what? We got to go to Vegas and reach out and get permission to talk to him. That's all legal. You can do it. It's all fine. Do it this way. They can delay it because they don't really have to do it because no one thinks there's a vacancy. And this is what happens. So trying to blame others for the actions. Sorry, I'm not buying it there. So we welcome in. We're going to go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, where, of course, 53 years they've grown and become one of the most diversified electrical contractors in the province. Their testing division includes infrared and ultrasonic testing, arc flash studies, and energized or de-energized testing of electrical systems. They do a lot of stuff. They can help you. ActionElectrical.net. As Terry Ryan, former NHLer, star of Shoresy, as Hitch joins us. How you doing, TR?
Not bad at all. Okay, I hope you can hear me okay. I'm just in my car.
I can hear you just fine. You got your window rolled down or something? You driving? We got a convertible on? What's happening?
Nah, it's raining, but the weather's getting progressively nicer, but it's raining here today. No, I got to drive my daughter to soccer and work out, and there's a big banquet in Mount Pearl, the Sports Alliance, the year-end awards. There's a lot happening in my little circle right now, but happy to be on the air with you guys.
Speaking of lots happening, what do you make of the reports? The Oilers have obviously reached out. They're looking for Bruce Cassidy. They're obviously going to make a change in their coaching staff. Okay, fine. But I don't like the direction and how they went about it. Just fire your head coach, then move on accordingly. It's the off season. There's no reason to have to not do it that way. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, and there's just a lot to unpack. Because if you look at it from one point of view, getting rid of Knobloch itself, just that idea. I know a lot of people were behind it, but if you sit back and really try to really dissect it and break it all down, not many coaches get that far 2 years in a row. And was it coaching this year? Maybe. I think it was a bunch of little things now. And is it a thing where, hey, Cassidy's available, let's talk to him. Let's talk to 2 or 3 that are available, and maybe we will, maybe we won't. If that's the case, it was a silly, silly way to go about it because it's out. And now if I'm Chris Knobloch, just there's no way that I'm not. Even if you decide to stick with me, it's something. It's just something negative that was kind of unnecessary. And if you were going to go and talk to Cassidy and say, well, no, we were getting rid of him, we knew that. Well, just do it. I just think there was no need, again, for such a professional organization that has had data to work with and, research, data, the analytics behind it all, like for months and months, years. And there's so much knowledge there that it's a really weird way to go about it. And I know that we're not looking back at Chris Knobloch with Stanley Cup rings, but the next best thing, he got you as close as possible. So I'm not even saying keep him. You want to get rid of him, but that deserves some level of and respect, doesn't it? It's a terrible thing. I feel like he's a minor hockey coach and found out from one of the parents. It's just a really weird way to go about it.
100%. I just don't think it looks good. And hey, I think I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't at least mention the fact that I've talked openly about, I think the dysfunction that's happened in Vancouver from their organization is not good. And if you look at some of the things, Paul Coffey goes away, then they have to bring Paul Coffey back in, right? Like that. There's lots of little things here that add up that aren't necessarily great looks. If you want, everybody talks about one of the biggest important things for a team is to have everybody pulling in the same direction. And some of the actions in the past year would suggest that not everybody's pulling on the same rope.
And you should know as a professional organization that publicly it's going to look like that. And optics are important. especially if you string together a bunch of losses and you disappoint and you underachieve.
Yep.
Now the magnifying glass is going to be on you a lot more than it was. And these public examples of everybody not being on the same page seem to be a little too frequent. And you would have to think, with the experience and the resumes involved, that they would know that. So I'm not sure. Like, your wires really have to be crossed if it keeps happening publicly. That's what I think, because it's easy enough for that not to happen if you're talking about a junior B team. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a head scratcher and makes one wonder if problems don't lie a lot deeper than Chris Knobloch.
Exactly. I just think too often the organization, the fallback has been head coach goalies. Those guys are responsible for everything. They're the only reason you ever lose. It's always on them. And that's how it's been. And it's a pattern that we've seen for many years. And hey, like in life, we all have patterns that are hard to break. I understand it. And away we go. Now, this just coming down. Wow. Charlie McAvoy. Not overly surprised by this, but Charlie McAvoy is suspended for 6 games to start next season for his slash at the end of the series against the Buffalo Sabres.
Was that the slash over the wrist?
Arm slash wrist on Zach Benson. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember. I was wondering if he would say, I mean, that was a hell of a tap, but if you're going to do that, if you're going to do that, then every other time, what's the word? You've got to be consistent across the board. Is that consistent? It seems a little hefty to me, but
Well, it's after the whistle, TR, right? And you get up off the ice, you take that many strides, and you take your stick and you swing it that hard. Like, to me, I don't see.
Oh wait. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not trying to bail on what I just said. Now I remember exactly what it was. Yeah, it was intent to injure with a focus, with a point. Sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of another play. I know exactly which play you're talking about. Sitting here in my car going through the mental imagery of it. Yeah. There's not much. There he is. I'm going to do it. Here's my stick. I hope I hurt you. Boom, I hurt you. Yeah, I can see the logic.
Yeah, no, it's hard to argue with 6 games for sure. It's kind of go. That's I look at it, and so that'll be it'll be a 78 game season maximum for Charlie McAvoy next year. Of course, as the NHL goes up to 84 games, not the first time in NHL history. We should remind people that there were 2 seasons in the 90s when prior to the short lockout, where they had 84 games. They'd gone up to 84. Then they went into what that was unfortunately foreshadowing for what was going to become a regular trend in the NHL for a long time, where they would have lockouts for CBAs. And we had 2 seasons of 84 games. Something tells me this one might last a little bit longer. The extra 2 games, and for those who kind of forgot, it's just going to go in your own division. So now you will play every team in your division 4 times. It used to be 26 games in your division. Now it's going to be 28 games in your division. It'll be 24 games against the other teams in your conference, and then 32 games against the 16 teams in the other conference. So even schedule up until they expand, and then it'll be uneven again. So here we go. TR, get into your Montreal Canadiens. I know you're obviously the organization that drafted you. They're up 2-1, and they're up 2-1 without really any contributions, even strength from their top line. Like, Caulfield did score in a power play. Slavkovsky's got 4 power play goals all playoffs. Doesn't have a 5-on-5 goal yet. Demidov doesn't have a goal at all. And Caulfield, hasn't scored 5-on-5 either. But they're winning, and kind of just shows you what they're doing. And really, like the something about Montreal and rookie goaltenders, and from Dryden to Roy to now Dobish, who's been really good for them.
Yeah, man. And people say momentum isn't a thing in the playoffs, but I really disagree. I think it is, because I know personally I don't have much NHL playoffs to tell you about, but personally in my life, when I've been in a competitive zone and playing in the playoffs at all different levels, I do take momentum in. I'd like to ask Alex Newhook that question. Good Newfoundlander, by the way. Alex Newhook, I will say, growing up, the most skilled player for his age group. Went away at a young age like I did, 14 years old, played prep school, went to college, did all the right things, won a cup in 2022. But the goals he's getting, I was explaining this to some kids earlier. We're out on the ice at lunch hour, and the goals he's getting are hard-working goals. I'm not saying I don't want to demean his offensive ability and the skill it took to get there. And obviously you're in the NHL, so just to get to those areas and then fit into the play, you got to be ultra skilled. But the goals he's getting are goals that any NHLer can do if they put their mind to it and go out. He's finishing. I don't think of Alex Newhook as a big tough guy, but watch him forecheck. His second goal the other night was all the forecheck, man. And then that I'm proud of him. He's from Newfoundland. And, he's a friend of mine, so I'm really proud of him. But he is a great example. And you opened up by saying, guys like Caulfield, Demidov are out of sorts. And it's guys like Newhook. And there is something to be said for experience. I often say that. Look at Alex Newhook. Look at his stats in the regular season. Look at the way he played. Look at the way, the energy that he uses out there, the way he presents himself, the professionalism, the leadership, the spunk, the blocking shots, the energy, the hits. And so a lot of people often talk about, playoff experience. Does it really mean anything? Yes, it does. There's a guy who's won a Stanley Cup. His stats weren't crazy during that Stanley Cup run. I know you didn't even play all the games. You played 10 or 12 of them, but that's enough to be, and then some. Chipped in a few points, right? He at an early age, he saw what it took to win a Stanley Cup, and he was a part of it, not a major part of it, but a pretty big part of it, and they won. And now, he's picking up the slack. He's being a leader. He's doing everything they need him to do. Now, that by extension is a lot of the players. I'm just using him as an example. So I'm really proud of him. He's from Newfoundland, and I think he is a metaphor of the team as a whole. You work hard, you step up your game, and a lot of people don't know if they could hang there with the big dogs while they're, if they could hit. Now, who knows if they can last 4 rounds, being a small-ish team. But they're first of all, they're grittier than people think. They're bigger than people think. Caulfield and Demidov, I did. Caulfield scored last game. He looked a bit out of sorts. I think I've mentioned that. Demidov looks a lot different, but I think Caulfield, it was a matter of time. I think the playoffs are different when they're amped up and everybody, there's, style of play changes. For Demidov, he's played a little bit last year at the end, but it's part of experience and being, I don't want to say overwhelmed by the situation, but it takes a while to calm the nerves and to play a playoff game, to slow it down or speed it up, whatever it takes in the playoffs to set the tone. And I think Demidov's caught off guard a little bit, but other than that, the Habs, they look like the Blue Jays last year, just work hard, get there, man out, man in. Let's do it. Let's do it by committee. Let's do it. We're young. We got nothing to lose. Let's go out there and win.
Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan with you. We'll take a quick break. We will return. We got a busy show. Lots going on coming up. Strudwick will join us next. And the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 oodle, noodle, 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 oodle, noodle, noodle. Noodle, 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 oodle, noodle, noodle. Trouble low down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection, never better. The savings up to $12 grand when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, The Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
$325. How are you? I will say, man, when that music comes on, it's hard not to get in a good mood. Catchy tunes, man. Catchy tunes. It's a Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where tonight, Lotto Max. $15 million. Get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, check out the Jason Gregor Show Daily Boost. We got a little some Blue Jays action for you, some NBA, some NHL. Crazy stat about the Sabres. 0-14. And they trailed 2-1 in a series. But they were also 14 years without the playoff until they ended it. So who knows? Maybe they'll end another 14-year, well, not year, but streak with the number 14 in it. We'll see. Let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. If you're looking for a vehicle, look no further. GoAuto.ca. They have over 15,000 vehicles to choose from for you. Cars, vans, trucks, SUVs, you name it, they got it. GoAuto.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea. It is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags.
Struds on.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you hand me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds on.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. I mean, you need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds on.
Struddy, good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. How you doing?
Good. What a day. What a day out here. Loving it.
What are you walking, golfing? What are you doing?
I'm actually going to golf. Yeah, I'm going to golf today. So I've loosened up. Hammies are loose and long and ready to hit some bombs today. Oh.
All right. Well, hey, before we get going, congratulations to the Strudwick family. Your son Kane gets drafted to the WHL, and obviously, hey, Dad never got drafted and went on, so it's it's a good thing. Probably exciting to see him nowadays, right? With all the technology, kids are probably following the draft live, I would think.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. And to be honest, when I went to, I didn't even know there was a draft. That's how naive I was. So you didn't get drafted. I'm like, I didn't even know there was one. So I guess that was easy. It was exciting. And, for all the kids that got drafted, it's an exciting moment. And the ones that don't, you just prove everybody wrong. So just keep pushing either way.
Yeah, that's good. The news comes out today, Struddy, that the Oilers are, obviously they've been thinking about a coaching change. They reached out to Bruce Cassidy. You can't walk this one back now. Chris Knobloch is basically, dead man walking. I just don't understand. Like, I have no problem if you feel the coach isn't your guy and you want to make a decision. That's your right as management. I just don't understand why you wouldn't have let him go. Like, usually when you make an off-season coaching change, it happens in the first week after the season. Make the coaching change, then you go through the hiring process.
Yeah, a coach deserves to know kind of where he stands, right? And then now it obviously, I think it's a hard one to, as you say, to walk back. So I'm not sure what the time will be on this. And then, the Cassidy situation, he's, I guess, the next man up if he wants the job, I guess, then they can sort it out with Vegas and all that, which I think they'll be able to. So, interesting times for sure. He's a different style of coach. I think he's more, at least seems like he's more, a little bit harder and more direct. And not that Knobloch wasn't, but he did it in his own way. So it'd be a different look for this team if that's actually how it plays out over the next, 48 hours or so.
One more, and then I'll get to TR. But my concern, Struddy, is the pattern in Edmonton for a decade has been head coach and goalie. Let's blame them. Yeah. Let's change them. And that's the issue. And now, hey, the Oilers got really close. Like Chris Knobloch, the first year, like they listened to him. They played better team defense, but slowly it's gone away. And now it's the coach's fault again, but the players are the ones who decide on the ice. There's no coach system out there, Struddy. You played for a lot of different teams, a lot of different coaches. Yeah. There's no coach who coaches you to turn the puck over or play loose defensively. Not in today's hockey.
Mm-hmm. So that's something they have to really embrace. And then they did, like you said, when Knobloch was first arrived, they did embrace that defensive hockey. And then the PK as well, it was really good for stretches there, especially in the playoffs. So, the next guy that comes in, you've really got to come in and kind of somehow get that to be a consistent staple in the team's game. They're going to score enough. There's enough score. I've heard you talk about how many 20 or near 20 goal scorers they had on this team, and some might change. I get all that, but they can score, and the power play is going to score. But it's just that ability to lock down. You watch the playoffs, and the Oilers have been great in the playoffs the last couple of years for sure. Just compared to this year, you're watching a team compete and the way they're defending, whether it's Colorado last night and other teams like that. Like, if they are good at that defending and they can just shut it down. And I'll never forget when Ekholm got here, he talked about we have to be comfortable going to the third tied or 1-0 or down 1-0. And I think that is still the truth today as we sit here talking about the future of this group.
TR? Oh, maybe we've lost TR. Struddy, so now the Oilers, hey, you're going to have a new coach, and I get it. You've been in rooms when the new coach comes in, and everybody really wants to, you want to impress the new coach. So will the Oilers have a good start next year? Yeah, I won't be surprised if they do. I actually crunched some of their numbers. Like their second half this year, the Oilers had massive improvements in limiting high danger chances and lots of other things. Like when they decide to play well, they're a pretty good team. And you know what? If all four of your centers aren't hurt, you're probably going to be pretty good. It's just a matter of can they do it consistently when the chips are down? That's going to be the question for this team.
I think that's all correct. And I agree with you. I mean, I think that they're not as bad as the outcome would look this year. Losing the first round of the Ducks, I don't think they're that level. But they probably weren't also the team that could have got to the Stanley Cup final. So there's somewhere in between, and that's kind of a gray area to be. So the GM, has to figure out how to make this team better and stronger in some ways. Then you've got the new coach coming in. He has to find a way to get the players to believe in what he's selling. Whatever that is, whatever he's selling, he has got to get them to believe and dial it in. That starts with your top player, your core. So whoever is the coach, I'm guessing that rather quickly, that guy would go and try to travel and meet the core one-on-one. That's what I would do. Sit down and talk to them. Hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I want. Can give me a chance here to do this? And I need you to back me. It's not just doing it on ice. You have to actively say it in the room. Hey guys, remember, we got to be this. This is how we have to play. This is how we're doing, and get it. So that becomes the culture in this group, because they're going to score. That's never going to be the problem with this team. It's going to be making sure they can defend. And, think of how many times this year they got down by a couple, then they race back and play the same guys all the time to try to get back into it. Like that's not really hockey. Like that's not a winning recipe. So right from day one, right through the end, they'll be able to do it. Now, that being said, they will be fresher for sure. They'll be healthier. There'll be some fresh faces in this group. And I think they'll be a highly motivated group because they'll be pissed off over the way things went the last year.
Struddy, Quinn Hughes played over 34 minutes last night.
Yeah.
So at what point now everybody's different. So, I mean, who knows? I can't speak for Quinn Hughes. But I mean, at some point it's too much. You wouldn't play him 44. So, I mean, do you think that's a smart move? I mean, I know it's either 2 games to 2 or 3 games to 1, but what do you think of that? And what would be the limit?
Well, first off, what a play by Quinn Hughes on that backhand pass from the blue line down to Sturm. I mean, that was unbelievable. Picking that puck up, jumped in the middle. So this is what I would say. 34 minutes wasn't enough because they still didn't win, and they're not going to win that series. They're not good enough. Quinn Hughes is an amazing player. They've got good D back there, but their number one center just isn't good enough. Like whether it's Hartman or Eck, any of those, they're really good players. They're second, third line center. They're not number one center. So that's something that Billy's going to have to figure out to try to add. But I would, in the playoffs, I'd play him. I'd play him like that because you're not good enough. You're not good enough to beat them with him playing 20, 25 minutes. You want to have your best player out there, and he is arguably, probably him or Kaprizov are the 2 best players.
Yeah. For you, did you ever find yourself playing with someone like that? I'm guessing Hughes, Hudson, McCarr, Bouchard. You've got to be really aware because they're going to take a lot of chances. They all do. Bouchard gets all the crap for it, but they all do. They play a ton, and it usually works out. But you got to take chances in order to play like that. Have you ever played with somebody like that? And did you, how did you approach it?
Yeah, so I played with 2 guys. I played with Brian Berard, who was like that, and then Jovanovski, both really talented offensive players. And in all honesty, I actually liked it because I didn't really want to touch the puck. I didn't feel if I went through the game and only touched it for 2 seconds, I'd be like, yeah, that was pretty good. But the things that they weren't, I was, which is physical, a little more defensively aware. And there were times where it would screw you over. You'd get a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1 with the other team's best players, and that was hard to deal with. But I knew that was what you had to accept. Just like Ekholm knows, just like at times Faber knows, that you have to take those and you have to try to prevent goals on those, because that going the other way, that guy is going to place some pluses in your pocket just by virtue of you being on the ice. So I liked it because it was a clear definition of titles. We knew, and our roles. We knew exactly what our role was on that partnership. So it does make it easier. And you think back when, who was the guy? There was in Ottawa, Eriksson, Mathot. He knew, I heard him talk about it. He's like, I know what my job is back here. And it's true. You do know. So it does in that way make it easier, especially for a defensive player. If you're more offensive, like a Middleton, when he plays with Quinn Hughes, he can stay back and he knows what his job is. But maybe Faber wants to get up there a bit more. But you still have to know that you're still the backup singer anytime you're on the pairing with a guy like those people.
Jason Strudwick joins us. So, Struddy, you what do you make of the Oilers blue line moving forward? Is Connor Murphy a must re-sign for you this offseason?
Yeah. So my priority number 1, you've got to sort out the net minding. the number one job. And I don't know what it's going to look like. You know, is it the two guys who are there and you re-sign Ingram or whatever? But that the number, you figure out your money from there. And then, yes, Murphy is to me the number one guy because I think he really brings identity to Darnell Nurse's game, and they are a solid second pair. And we saw in the playoffs, they were good in the playoffs together in that. And then you figure out your money after that. So it's goalie, Murphy, and then everybody else after that. And I'd love for them to re-sign Kapanen. I mean, you see that deal for Charlie Coyle today? I was like a bit shocked. He's 34 years old. I think that's a pretty big purse they're handing him with, what is it, $36 million in it until he's 40. I don't know if he'll still be rolling at quite that level. So Dickinson, I mean, I wonder what he's going to get now. But yes, Murphy for me is a must signing. And you said you think he's into it. So I'm going to try to get that done as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, I'll say this about Coyle. Remember, Brad Marchand was 37 when he signed his 6-year extension last year, right? So he was, now people are freaking out about Coyle. I'm like, dude, he's 3 years younger. But it shows you, hey, teams, there's now like free agency in the NHL isn't what it was because now the salary cap going up as high as it is, not all the teams are going to spend to the cap. And I think that's what's maybe gotten lost here a little bit. Yeah, like the salary cap, it's going to be $113 million next year. All that's going to happen in the next few years, Struddy, is we're going to see now there is a floor that you have to get to. So, but I won't be surprised if in 5 years we're back to a separation of haves and have-nots in the NHL. Yeah. And you're going to see teams, because some of these teams, the salary cap's going up $9 million. Like they can't just keep increasing costs. Like I know Edmonton does it, but trust me, I hear it from lots of season ticket holders. They're done with always having to have a 7% increase and then a massive increase in the playoffs, right? Like lots of people are like, I'm done. And each year, eventually more people are like, I can't do it. So in non-hockey markets, like how much more money are some of these teams? You watch, I look at this year's salary cap and, what's the cap space of a lot of teams? Like, Anaheim was, I think, $10 million out of the cap all year long. And they've done very well because they're in a time where their young players don't need contracts. Now some new ones will. But I won't be surprised, Study, to see that teams will say, if I really want my guy, I'll pay him and whatever, I'll live with it because we're not too worried about the cap. Like even Columbus, they jump up. They're not going to be a cap team next year, even by paying Charlie Carl this much money.
Yeah.
This much money.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing to think 5 years from now, you'll have, that have and haves not something that we just try to get rid of, a number of years ago when we took the cap on in the first place. So that would have been evolution of whatever that is, be about 25 years it would take to get to that point. So if that happens, that would be quite the shocker. Then how do you, because I'm sure some teams will want to reel that in again. Because now if you have, one team spending 20 or 25 million more, that's a lot of good players that you're able to put onto that team.
For sure. Lastly, when you look at Anaheim and Vegas, they played 4 games. It's sawed off. Now it's a best of 3. Have you seen anything? Because it's kind of a Jekyll and Hyde series. One game, Vegas looks really good. The next game, Anaheim looks really good. So where do you come out after 4 games? Do you have any better sense of which team you like?
Yeah, I think that the longer it goes, the better it is for the Ducks because guys, it's playoffs is difficult, right, to play, and I think they're trying to figure out as individuals and as a team what they're all about. For the most part, a lot of those Vegas guys have been through it already. And Stone not playing all the games, that definitely challenges Vegas. But I do think the longer it goes, the better it is for the Ducks as we move forward here.
Struddy, have yourself a wonderful day. By the way, is Elkman coming back this year? Are you getting back? Are you only like a fair weather fan? What's happening?
Yeah, it might be time to get the old rack out and, a nice sunny day, put the big rack out there for everyone to see and get the front row seats. So maybe it'd be a nice surprise. I'll have to pick a game when all the fans want to see her.
Well, you pick a game, Struddy. We'll see. We shall see. Have a good one. We will chat with you next Tuesday.
See you, boys.
Hey, buddy.
Let's go. That's Jason Strudwick from Got Your Back podcast. We'll come back. We got 5 questions. Gregor, Ryan, Hallie on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post-workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine. But we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers The Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Our new McCafe crafted sodas just strength or something more. Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Millions and millions of Canadians do not have a doctor. We have a crisis. Canada's Medical Clinic is opening clinics across Canada to allow everyone to have a doctor to call their own. Early detection saves lives. We've got some great news. You can call now and book an appointment with your new doctor. CanadasMedicalClinic.com. And more good news. Canada's Medical Clinic Windermere is also now a walk-in clinic. We'll see you there.
Ready to upgrade your ride this spring? Come on down to the Golf Cart People. They're a family-owned and operated business that's been serving the community since '97. Whether you're looking for a brand new or quality pre-owned cart, a rental for a special event, they do that too. The Golf Cart People have a huge selection of parts and accessories, and their expert service team is here to keep you rolling. The Golf Cart People, your one-stop shop for everything golf cart. Visit golfcartpeople.com.
Summer is calling. Is your vehicle ready for the road trip? Get ready for the season at Nisku Ford with offers that turn up the heat. Right now, you choose how you save. Finance your new vehicle with rates as low as 0%. Or choose massive cash rebates as high as $12,500. Whether you're hauling the boat or packing up the family, we have the Ford you need for your summer adventures. Start your summer upgrade at niskuford.ca. Nisku Ford, above expectations. Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love, better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade, safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan. Water you love.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL, helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ul.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ul.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through. How are you, Jason Gregor? Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday afternoon. Got a special guest coming up next hour. Recent first-round pick of the National Football League. So should be fun times. Now let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. And right now, through until Thursday, the tent sale is ongoing. And, man, you can get a lot of stuff. 60% off clearance mattresses, appliances, furniture, and electronics, countertop microwaves for under $100 at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, we saw the reports this morning, obviously, for Frank Saravalli. In your opinion, who do you guys think is the most likely candidate to be the Oilers head coach next season?
Well, hey, man, I'm just going to say Bruce Cassidy. There you go. I really don't know where else to go with it.
Yeah. If you're Bruce Cassidy, he already came out and said he would love the opportunity to coach in the Canadian market and bring back the Stanley Cup. The only Canadian market right now, Toronto maybe will get a head coach. We'll see. But if you have the choice between Edmonton and Toronto, you're taking Edmonton all day long. So, yeah I think it's going to be Bruce Cassidy.
All right, question number 2. We saw Garen McFarland and Verbeek as the nominees for the GM of the year. Is there a GM not listed that you think had a deserved season?
You know what? I like the fact this used to be announced, after the 4 conference final teams were announced, and it was always 3 of the guys in the conference final. I always thought it was kind of a joke. I'm like, so you're not even basing, because some years the guy made no trades, but his team made it to the conference final. Oh, he's a finalist. I'm like, what? No, I honestly, you look at Verbeek made some moves that helped his team. Garen, obviously, the Hughes trade was massive. Look at Colorado's year. Nazem Kadri, they made some impactful trades. Honestly, I don't know if I can think of a team or a GM that made bigger moves that worked for their team. So I like these 3.
I'll go with my old teammate, Kevin Adams. There you go. Off the board. Hey, funny, but it's also, there is a shred of legitimacy to it.
Question number 3 for you guys. This could be team or individual, but is there a pick for feel-good story of the Stanley Cup playoffs so far?
Well, I'm going to go, I've already talked about it, but Alex Newhook, and I'm going to keep banging that drum. And it's great to see him succeed. He's a great kid and person, human being, and I'm going to go with that.
Feel good. So that's a good one. I'm going to go with. I'm just going to go with the Taylor Hall, Stan Coven, Blake line, because that trio has been dominant, and not many people were expecting them. Stan Coven wasn't going to be a good number 2 center, and there's lots of questions about it. So I'll go with the entire trio because they've all been great.
And not to rub salt in the wounds, but I'm going to say Mitch Marner, just because all he had to go through last year to lead the playoffs in points so far. Cool story. Question number 4 for you guys. We know it's been a tough start to the year for Vlad Guerrero Jr., 2 home runs on the season. How many will he finish with this year?
Ooh, God, was on pace for 8. I think he had 24 last year, Cons? Like, honestly, it's crazy that he would go from not hitting home runs and the playoffs comes, he's just mashing everything. And you're like, okay, he's back. And now he's not. I'll still say he figures it out. But I'll say 22.
I don't think he's going to hit 20. I got no reason to really think it other than things that happened well into the past, because he looks now like he is lost. His swing even. I'm going to say 16.
All right. That would be just one more than his rookie season. Question number 5 for you guys today. I don't know if you missed it. Homer Simpson's 70th birthday. An iconic character, no doubt. So in honor of that, give me your top 3 TV characters of all time, any genre.
This is extremely, extremely difficult. So to actually sit there and go top 3, I don't know what that would take. Hours? Or is it all subjective? It's just off the top of my head. I could tell you my top 10, but I'm just going to give you 3 that jump out to me. Job Bluth from Arrested Development.
Good one.
Yeah, I love Job. I'm going to go with Mr. Burns from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And now it's tough ground, because you're going, what is my favorite shows? And I'm going to skip Seinfeld. I'm going to say Larry David with Curb, because he's kind of involved in the other. It had to be one of those. They're my favorite shows of all time. I will go a little bit off the board and say Larry David.
All right. Cons, I did actually, when you sent this question out earlier, I had a little bit of time to prep, and I was like, God, there's, so I'm starting to think of like who my favorites are, but just because they're my favorite doesn't necessarily mean they're best actors. So, and I can't go with actors on show. I never watched Breaking Bad. Everybody loved Walter White. I never watched it, so I can't. So he's out for me. I'm not saying he isn't good. I never watch it, but I'm going to go in no particular order. Tony Soprano, James Gandolfino. He was unreal on The Sopranos. So
Gandolfini,
yeah,
isn't it?
James Gandolfini, yeah. What did I say? Gandalf? Yeah, I probably just didn't finish it. Yeah, Gandalf. That's Gandalf the Grey, but I'm talking Gandolfini. So, he was, he was ruthless, but then also he was like vulnerable at the same time. So, quite like Tim, I'm going to go Omar Little from The Wire.
The Wire.
Oh,
The
man,
Wire,
I
yeah.
thought he was unreal. I love that. And I'll be honest, I never watched The Wire. I watched it later on, and I was like, oh my God, this show is so good. Like, I love that show. And I'm going to go, and this one's a little bit of my favorite, honestly, but I'm going Kramer, Michael Richards, just for pure, like, I think being funny is hard. I think it's harder at times than other genres to be, and he was unbelievable at physical comedy. He had some great lines, no question. He did a lot of things, like obviously his character and how they wrote him was great, but just how he played it was fantastic, man. Like, there's so many different scenes when I look at him and how he did it so smooth. Like, remember the one time when he's sitting at the bar and he's smoking the cigarette and he's drinking the beer and then he has it in his mouth, and I'm like, how the hell is he doing that? Like, he was so funny.
Well,
like,
it's funny. Ryan McDonald, who plays McD or Michaels on Shoresy, he was talking about that, and he said if you just read Seinfeld, read the script, Kramer's not close to as funny, and they knew that, and they just start a lot of what he does. You don't even realize. I mean, it's really funny, and clearly he's a little bit physical, but when you really look back at it, the way that he presents that character, and not just falling over the couch. I mean, it's all amazing, the humor that he brings to it just by being himself.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It was like so many of his lines, how he delivered his lines. Like, oh my God. Like, remember, hey, you're just attractive as everyone else. You just need a nose job. He just said it.
Oh, yeah.
He said it so just matter of factly. And Elaine was like, Kramer. And everybody else like, you can't say that. He's like, why? She's beautiful. She just needs a nose job. God, it was so funny. And
hey, that's we have similar tastes, because those 3 would have been in my top 10.
Yeah.
I juggled with all of those guys as well. What do you got, Cons?
I had Soprano in there as well, but I had some backups just in case. So I'll take Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. I've got Michael Scott and Jon Snow from Game of Thrones.
Bobby Hill, like the kid?
Bobby Hill, absolutely.
Really?
He is hilarious. He's a weirdo as well. But you go back to like the earlier seasons, he's so funny. So Bobby Hill. And then honorable mention, Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec.
The other guy I had was Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones. Peter Dinklage, he was really good, man. His character was fantastic. Another guy whose character was pretty, and I know obviously it had to do with the era, but just how he did. I thought Don Draper in Mad Men was pretty good.
Yeah.
And
fantastic.
Honestly, I got to go with I got to find her name, and I'm gonna say she was so good because she annoyed the hell of me. But part of me thinks that, you know what? Then you're doing your job. The mom in Animal Kingdom. And and they had different characters because they had her when she was the mom. And then of course that later on she died. And then they did flashbacks to the younger mom. And both of those actresses, and I'm forgetting the name right now of Ellen Barkin. Ellen Barkin. And I think the other, was it Leela George Cons? Can you look it up? Is that the younger mom?
Yeah,
okay.
That's what it was.
But I'm telling you, I despised Ellen Barkin on that show. But that tells me she was doing it really good. She played the bee so good in that show.
I will. I'd be remiss not to mention, at the very least, Carol O'Connor. Great as well.
Yeah.
All in the Archie Bunker, All in the Family, and he's just doing a fantastic job of acting, because when you see him interviewed, it almost takes you aback. He's a completely different person, but that's one of my favorite characters ever in anything. I find that guy really funny, and I think Peter Griffin, Homer Simpson, on and on. I think they're like versions of that guy.
Yeah, awesome. TR, great stuff, buddy. Have yourself an awesome Tuesday, and we'll chat with you on Thursday.
Thanks, Connor. Thanks, Jason. Thank you, Edmonton. Talk soon.
When we return, Akeem Mesidor, newest member of the Chargers, of course, Canadian first-round draft pick. We'll talk to him after Connor Halley. And a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Check out hiregood.ca. Stable jobs create stable lives.
The Sports 1440 update.
2 games tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs, getting going at 5. You got Canadians and Sabres from Montreal. Montreal leading 2-1 there. And at 7:30, Golden Knights and Ducks from Sin City. That series tied at 2 games apiece. In the association, Timberwolves and Spurs, that gets going at 6 o'clock. Series tied at 2 games each. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays taking on the Rays once again. First pitch, 5:07. We'll join that game in progress on our AM feed following the Jason Gregor Show. You've also got the Rockies and Pirates, Tigers, Mets, Braves host the Cubbies, Marlins in Minnesota, Brewers host the Pirates, Mariners taking on the Astros, and the Dodgers take on the Giants. PWHL news, they got a game tonight after it was delayed yesterday. Montreal, Minnesota, Game 5, puck drop in just over an hour. The winner will advance to the league final next Monday against the Ottawa Charge. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by LA Chargers first-round pick Akeem Mesidor, also Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM. We'll talk about an event coming to our city with Brian Newton. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
When life unexpectedly changes, it can leave us feeling unbalanced, uncertain, and unsure of how to move forward. But you don't have to go through it alone. I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. Our team helps reestablish balance, guiding you through your divorce with compassion, clarity, and support. Fairway has helped more than 6,500 families across Canada find a path towards a peaceful, fair resolution. With 2 offices in Edmonton, we're here to make your journey easier. Discover your options at Fairway Divorce.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting non-stop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Home ice advantage is real at the rink and on your windows. Novo Blinds is Edmonton's own custom manufacturer, trusted by customers around the city. Factory direct pricing with the fastest turnaround around. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Puck Drop Special at Papa John's, a large 2-topping pizza and 8-piece wings for only $28.99 with promo code PuckDrop at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
It's after 4 o'clock, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having awesome Tuesday afternoon. Of course, playoffs in the NHL continuing on tonight. You got the Canadians and the Sabres. Sabres going with UPL in goal tonight. Kerka is still out. They're also going to bring in Shen on the defense, so 3 lineup changes for them. Meanwhile, the Ducks and Vegas down to a best of 3. Vegas, of course, hosting Game 5 and 7 if necessary. NBA playoffs continuing on. The Jays trying to get a hit. Lots of teams trying to get a hit. But we're going to get to our big guest of the day, who's probably going to be delivering a few hits this coming NFL season. Our big guest of the day brought to you by Silent Ice Center. And coming up later this year, Gene Simmons in concert in a very quaint location. Smaller venues, I find, are even better for concerts. So if you're a big fan of Gene, you're going to want to go. Get your tickets. Silent Ice Center. As we are joined by a gentleman who was the first round selection. Rush end for now, the Los Angeles Chargers. Akeem Mesidor joins us. Akeem, congratulations, man. That's a huge accomplishment. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well.
So kind of take me through draft day for you. Obviously, you lead up to it. I'm sure you talked to a lot of organizations. Did you have a sense the Chargers were that interested? Where's your feeling in the draft? Is it nerves or excitement every time a name gets announced?
It's kind of a mix of both. You're just waiting because the teams call you before TV anybody else knows. So I was just waiting for my phone to ring. But I had a kind of a sense that I could come to LA. I had a meeting with them at the combine, and my agent was just telling me that LA was a team that would pick up an edge. So I got the call, and I was ready.
You began playing football for the North Gloucester Giants in back in Ottawa, Ontario, and like most kids, obviously you just enjoyed it. What positions did you play at a young age? Everywhere?
I played everywhere, offense and defense, all over the field.
What was your favorite position as a youngster?
It was linebacker, just because I could see everything and really just at a young age, it was see ball, get ball. So the more I could see, the more plays I can make. So linebacker.
And fair to say then, because you played offense and defense, you liked hitting rather than getting hit?
Of course. You love delivering a hit and, putting the pain on people.
What about scoring touchdowns, though? That's kind of a good thrill.
Yeah, it's fun. But it's nothing like smacking somebody and getting a turnover.
Hey, spoken like a pure defensive guy. I love it. So when did you ended up having to go to Clearwater, Florida for high school, Akeem, and obviously you're pretty young to move away, which hey, for a lot of athletes, you got to make a tough decision at a young age on moving away and trying to test yourself against top level competition. Was that an easy move, easy decision for you?
Yeah, it was easy. There was no question about it. Of my high school career, I was working towards playing football in the States. So when the opportunity presented itself, it was no question.
And then, of course, you get to college, unfortunately, timing just due to the COVID, right? And, there's games are canceled and, people get extra years playing. And so you're in West Virginia for a bit. Then you transfer to Miami. And obviously that worked out extremely well. Coming out a little bit later, what do you feel is the benefit for you coming out, at the age of 25 now into the NFL? I'm sure you maybe thought, hey, I could have come out at 24, maybe if need be, but how much better of a player are you because you're a little bit older?
I think, it's a benefit. It benefits both me and the team. They're getting a more mature player, somebody who understands football and the playbook, somebody who's self, I correct myself. A lot of the time I'm very hard on myself. And, all BS aside, I'm really here to work and play football.
Akeem Mesidor joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show, first round pick of the LA Chargers. Now, Akeem, you go from playing with Ruben Bain with the Hurricanes, and now your teammates Khalil Mack with the LA Chargers, a future Hall of Famer. I just want to ask you, when you look at these guys that you have played with and other players, some of the greats that do what you do in the NFL, who are some of the guys you look up to and kind of pick things from their game when it comes to the pass rush moves?
I didn't watch a lot of NFL football. I really just played the video game. But one guy throughout college that I watched a lot was Trey Hendrickson when he played for the Bengals. We're similar size, and I feel like we have a similar game. And I just want to see how because he had a 17.5 sack season. He led the league in sacks, I think, in 24. So I just wanted to see what he did, what was so special about his game, and see how much I can put that into my game.
When it comes to stories with Jim Harbaugh, there's lots of stories from players, their first interaction with them. I'm sure you would have sat down with him, met him at the combine. What's it like being coached by Jim Harbaugh, and do you have any kind of Jim Harbaugh stories yet?
No, I don't have any Jim Harbaugh stories yet. I haven't been around him enough. But it's awesome to be coached by him.
When you go back to, when you did transfer away from West Virginia, what was it about the Hurricanes over USC, Auburn, some of the other schools that had trying to recruit you?
Really, it was Coach Cristobal and his vision and the way he talked about it. He's a hell of a recruiter, so I knew he was going to bring some ballers into the facility. I had coaches like Rod Wright. I had Jason Taylor, Joe Salavea, Todd Stroud. So I had there's just so many people with so much experience in that building. I knew that if I just, ask questions, listen, and work my butt off, I was going to be able to get to wherever I want to.
Akeem Mesidor joins us, of course, first-round draft pick of the Chargers last month in the NFL draft. And Akeem, you come across, sound like a very calm, poised guy. Obviously on the field, very different. Linebacker mentality, you got to be ferocious. And is it a little bit of a personality switch for you, right? You come across right now just very kind of calm demeanor. I've seen interviews before from you, and that's kind of who you are. Are you a little bit of a different person on the field?
Yeah, when it comes to football, I'm really competitive and I don't want to lose. But I don't know what it is, but a flip just switched, and there's only one way I know how to play the game, and I don't have to talk myself into it. It's just how I do it because I want to win.
Did you find that you had that at a younger age, or is that something you've developed? Because, guys can have the switch, but it's hard to do it all the time, right? Consistency is the hardest thing. There's lots of really good athletes, but the best ones who make it to the NFL and first-round picks, usually the ones who can do it consistently. Have you always had that, or is that something you kind of had to work in over the years on the field?
No, I've always had it. Doesn't matter what sport I was playing. Like, I remember in high school, I was playing volleyball, and I was just, even then, I would just go crazy. I'd scream, even though it's not a contact sport. Like, I'm spiking the ball, I'm screaming in a dude's face. Like, this is not really who I am. But when it comes to sports, when it comes to competing, I don't know. I want to win.
Yeah, well, I love the honesty because it is true. Like, there's just something that kind of there's an internal fire in you, obviously, that when you get in that competition. Now, are you that way if you're playing checkers, or is it only sports?
It's typically only sports, depending on who I'm playing against and how much trash they're talking.
Are you a trash talker on the field, or more of a responder if somebody talks to you first?
I'm more of a responder.
Who is the best trash talker you've played with?
Best trash talker I've played with? Probably Inez Cooper. He always has something to say.
And so are you a guy that when others kind of on your team, does the trash talk, not that you get involved in it, but you hear it, does that fire you up more? Is it get you in the game even more?
Yeah, of course. Like, I remember one game, a tackle was talking trash to Ruben, and then I chipped in, and then it was just, we were hunting him.
So you've exceeded at every level, and obviously you believe in yourself. I know you mentioned, hey, you know what? I haven't watched a ton of NFL, but now you're Chargers property. When you look at the game and you see your skill set, what makes you confident that you're going to be able to just continue on that journey and be an impactful player like you have been in every other level?
I think because when I look at myself on film and I look at my technique in indies and team periods, I try to perfect my technique, and I'm very hard on myself, and I put in the work. So I'm confident because I know I've put in the work, and I continue to do so.
How have you improved as a tackler? What's the best way for any of the young football players listening? How have you improved your tackling technique?
It's really the drills that we do during practice. There's a bunch of different drills that we do. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I'm not sure how to explain it over the phone. I'd have to just show you.
Do you find like what's maybe the most underrated part that a lot of the average fan, myself included maybe, who doesn't realize what it takes to being a good tackler?
It's really just the most underrated thing is keeping your eyes open, keeping your eyes up. A lot of people close their eyes or duck their heads, and that's why they miss tackles.
Okay, so eyes open. I like it. Kind of give me, what's the sense then for you, Akeem? What's the plan? Kind of give us an outline of what happens now from May 12th up until training camp. Is it all set out? Do you know exactly where you're doing, when you're going to mini camps, where you're going, what your training regime is? Is it like that almost to the day or to the week for the next few months for you?
No, it's kind of weird. So we just finished rookie mini camp, but right now we're in OTAs. OTAs will end, I think, mid-June. I'm still trying to find out where I want to train. We have a month break from mid-June to mid-July.
Okay.
I could either go back to University of Miami. I can go anywhere. But I haven't found a spot where I'm like, all right, this is where I'm training.
What are you looking for the ideal training grounds?
I really want, there's a lot that I want. I want to get stronger. I don't want to just do maintenance work. So I want to, like, upper body, power stuff, like upper body, we bench, do a bunch of single arm stuff, rows, whatever it is, do a bunch of upper body, a bunch of lower body, squats, single leg stuff. But then also I want to do explosive work, cleans, whatever it is. Because as a football player, you don't want to just be strong. You need to move weight fast. So whatever it is, I want to be able to get stronger, but also get more explosive by moving weight fast. And then when it comes to the field, a bunch of, plyometric speed mechanics and stuff where that requires me to change direction.
Akeem, a lot of players in all different sports, your body is like your vehicle. Obviously, the more fine-tuned it is, the better. So have you become somewhat of a student of your own body? You know what works for you, whether it's come certain, workouts, whether it's certain, food that you're intaking. Like, how much work do you go into ensuring that your vessel is running the best possible chance?
A ton of work. I've learned a lot throughout the years about my body, what to eat, what not to eat, what feels good, what's not as great for me. Just I'm starting to understand my body, but I still don't feel like I'm to the point where I've mastered it. So I'm just going to keep asking questions, doing different things, and just to see what works.
And and maybe you've announced this, so my apology if I missed it. Do you know what number you're going to wear this year? And are you a numbers guy? Like, is there any significance to the number?
Well, I'm wearing number 90. That's the first number I had in college. Obviously, 3 is not available, so I just decided to go back to 90.
90. All right. Well, Akeem, congratulations. It's a thrill. I want one last one for you, but just about your family and what they've meant to you to get to this point thus far. Your mom, your dad, your siblings. Who's kind of maybe had the biggest impact in helping you get this far?
There's been my mom. She just did she had to make a bunch of sacrifices in order to put me in this position. So the biggest person in my family would be my mom.
Your mom? All right. Well, hopefully she's there when you play your first NFL game later this fall. Congratulations and enjoy OTAs.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Akeem Mesidor. And I love his honesty, because you listen to him and he sounds pretty calm. He's very relaxed, and all the time, man, get on the field. Heck, you get on the volleyball court. He is a big dude, 6'3", 260, and he can move. Imagine playing volleyball against that guy. All of a sudden he spikes and he just gets in your grill. Now, volleyballs are pretty damn athletic. Like, those guys got some hops, no question, but not many of them are 6'3", 260. So a little bit leaner than the football players. But Cons, you're obviously a Chargers fan. I'm sure since they drafted him, you've been looking at all the tape. What's your expectations of Mesidor? And is he going to start on the defense?
Well, I mean, I like that volleyball competitiveness, because Jim Harbaugh's thing is competitors welcome. So you want a guy who competes at everything he does. That kind of sounds like what he is. He'll get in there rotationally. Khalil Mack obviously is kind of the guy, but
yeah,
he's lost a step. Tuli Tuipulotu was a Pro Bowler last year, so he's going to be another one to watch out for. But the Chargers do like to run what they call kind of the NASCAR package, where you're going to send. It's basically getting after the quarterback, and he's going to get a lot of reps there. The rotation will be there for sure. I expect him, especially in passing downs, to supplant what Bud Dupree would be getting out there for. So yeah, he'll be playing quite a bit, I would think. And you go back and you look at his college career. The production at Miami last year was there. The motor is there. I feel like teams just saw that age and said, that's the problem, and that's why he slipped and fell as far as he was. But for the Chargers, a team who I think are in a window where they think they can win, it makes a lot of sense. And I liked hearing it. It sounds like this guy's all business.
Do you see him more as a linebacker? Or is he going to line up at rush end sometimes?
I think end for sure. He played a little bit in the interior as well. He had his collegiate level.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's big enough to play interior.
No,
right, in the
I mean,
NFL.
for certain situations, I think he can get in there. But yeah, he dropped a lot of weight when it came to getting to the outside at Miami. I think there was a story about how he picked up swimming and dropped 20 pounds in the offseason. So he, I think he's got that versatility. So he'll be moved all around. And I think that's probably going to be advantageous to him.
Awesome. There you go. Good job lining that up. When we return, Dave McCarthy will join us. We've got Newton, Spec, Cam Tate on a busy Tuesday edition of the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star
I've always
Construction.
had it. Doesn't
And
matter
the
what I
directional
was
drilling,
playing.
hydrobacking,
I remember in high
neighborhood
school
renewal,
playing
and
volleyball, and I was
telecommunication work. Yep.
even then I
Yep.
was, I don't know, I was
And
just
since
so crazy
2009,
at
All-Star
screaming. You know, it's
Construction
not a
has been
contact
doing all
sport.
that
Like,
and
I'm
more.
spiking the
Shaping
ball,
and
I'm
building Edmonton
screaming
communities for
into
land
space.
developers
It's just
all
not
around
really who I
Edmonton.
am. But
That's what
when it
All-Star
comes to
Construction
sports,
is all
when it
about.
comes to competing,
New at Papa
I don't know, I
John's.
just
The spinach
I want to
Alfredo
win.
chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. Mortgagestogo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, good to go.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit ProSolutionsInc.ca to schedule your service today.
Fuel prices got you down? Subaru's here to pick you up. Subaru's electric and hybrid vehicles will save the day, helping you go further for less. Prefer a gas vehicle? Subaru Crosstrek and Impreza are built to keep costs low without sacrificing capability. Crosstrek was named 2025 Auto Trader Best Subcompact SUV, and Impreza has earned top safety pick recognition for 17 years running. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Rent it, run it, get it serviced. Japa Equipment Rentals has you covered from their shop to your job site. Alberta's construction pros have counted on Japa for rentals and service since 1972. JapaMachinery.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
So Scotty Scheffler is the favorite to win again. I think I saw a stat. This is his 13th consecutive major where he's the favorite going in. Now, of course, he doesn't win every time, but that is that's a pretty good streak where going in, everyone's like, hey, I think that this guy's the favorite to win. Doesn't mean he wins, of course, because if he did, that'd be unreal. No one's ever won 13 in a row. But shows you what kind of run he's on right now. And if he gets going, then he could be rather dangerous for sure. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province. PlayAlberta.ca. As time to talk a little hockey, Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM, our regular Tuesday guest, joins us. Davey, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, Jason. What's going on, buddy?
Well, there's lots happening as always in the sporting world. Lots going on the ice, off of the ice. I don't like. I know people say, well, you know what? Teams do this all the time. They talk to a coach before they fire the coach. I'm like, yeah, in season, you have to do it because you got a game coming up and you want to have a coach right away. Off season, no. Off season, season ends. We've seen lots of coaches get let go in the first week, sometimes maybe 2 weeks, but usually it's the first week, and then they go on an actual hire a coach search. Edmonton hasn't done that. Sarah Valley broke that they asked for Casti, and Vegas was like, nah. They didn't say no, they just said not yet, which is kind of funny. But
not at this time.
Yeah. Chris Knobloch's done in Edmonton. I know there's no release yet, but trust me, you're not coming back as a coach. Even if Casti somehow doesn't become the next head coach of Edmonton, there's no walking this back for Chris Knobloch and the Oilers.
I don't like it. I mean, it's over with now for Chris Knobloch. And look, full transparency, I said on your show, whatever it was, a week or two ago, I would have made a coaching change. I thought there were areas in which the Oilers operated this year that required improvement. Too much of what I heard from Chris Knobloch after games, too much of how they really went the entire season without making appropriate changes. Too much of that suggested to me that it was not good enough and that a new voice is needed. So I think a coaching change would have made, but I hate the way they're doing this. I really, really do. And I feel bad for Chris because he's done a good job, but ultimately the Oilers are trying to win a Stanley Cup and sometimes changes need to be made. This is pro sports, right? This is a big boys league. I get that, but I don't like treating people that way. And so this comes out, and don't get on Frank, anybody out there who reported. That's his job. Get on Oilers management. That's who you have to have an issue with right here. If you determine that a coaching change needs to be made, that's fine. He's paid a lot of money. He's got a year left, if not more, on his deal. He's going to get a lot of money. He'll probably get another job. That's fine. But make that decision and go to Chris and say, look, we appreciate your work here, but we're going to move in a different direction because we feel a new voice is needed. Fine. And then conduct your coaching search. To put this in terms of what regular people might understand, so you're going out with a girl, okay? And, yeah, you've been in the relationship for 6 months or so, and she thinks she likes you a little bit, but she's not sure. And so while she's seeing you, on the nights that you're not seeing her, she's off having dates with other guys. Just, checking out, see if there's any way she can improve on you before she settles back to you. And then that does get back to you, that's what she's doing. Would you be thrilled with that? Or, vice versa, if that's the guy doing it to the girl, whatever it is. Would you be thrilled with that? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Because if someone isn't happy with you, the least they can do is say, you know what? I don't think this is working out. Fair enough. And then you go your separate ways and you move on and you see what happens. And that's not what they've done here. And so now you leave poor Chris Knobloch twisting in the wind. Now this has gotten out. He can't walk back into that room in the fall now that the players are abundantly aware that they've been looking to replace him if Bruce Cassidy's available, but what if not? Then we're just going to go back. That's weak ass mentality from the management group. It's weak ass mentality. I do not like it. I would never treat people that way if they were under my employ. And I think the Oilers have to answer for that, because that's a really disappointing way of doing business from, quite frankly, people who should know better.
Yes. Like if I had to put odds on Bruce Cassidy being the next head coach of the Oilers, I'd probably say it's pretty high.
At this point, yeah.
At this point, and
because you know what? I'll say this, Jason, as well. If Vegas stands in the way of Bruce getting another job, just because, we don't want him to go to a division rival, but you've decided you don't want him to coach your team anymore, but you're going to stand in his way, that is equally as reprehensible on the part of the management group.
Yeah, I don't. Bettman doesn't. That won't happen. You know what? That's why I just said that at this moment they haven't. But they might say, "Hey, we're in the series. Once the series ends, if we have a day or two, then we'll talk about it." So I could see something like that happen.
Yeah, because the GMs are so busy at this point of the year.
That's right, but I could see that would be their initial one to do. Some people are trying to blame Vegas and all this. Some Oiler fans, and I'm like, man, they'll do anything. They just want to admit that, oh, geez, maybe the team I cheered for erred in their plan and how to execute this. It's okay to admit. I mean, they didn't break a law. They didn't do anything. To me, it looks unprofessional.
It does. I have no issue with it. It just, so long as they release him and allow him to talk to the Oilers. If you stand in the way and the guy can't get a job because, of what they don't want to release him to the Oilers, then it gets too far down the road. That's weak. If the guy's not your coach anymore, and you determine that you don't want him to be your coach anymore, if someone comes to him to coach their team, whoever it is, division or not, the right thing to do is allow the man to work.
Dave, we look at the playoffs. The Carolina Hurricanes have steamrolled Ottawa and Philadelphia. Now they're resting again. Their top line, well, it's not their top line, but it's been their top line. They're killing it. The Hall, Stankoven, Jackson Blake line has been outstanding for them. Buffalo, Montreal, game 4 tonight. The Habs are, they got a big win in game 3. Buffalo didn't, they got the start they wanted, and then everything kind of fell apart after that. They've changed their goalie. Shen's coming in on the back end. Helenis is coming in for Carrick, who I'm guessing is out after taking that punch from Arbor Jakai. What do you make of the moves for Buffalo and how they counterpunch in game 4?
Yeah, look, I mean, they go out and they acquire some depth in the form of a guy like Luke Shen. At some point, you acquire him because you want to turn to him. And so I don't think they played very well the other night. And so it makes sense to get him into the lineup. He's got an abundance of playoff experience. He's a fairly reliable guy so long as you put him in a circumstance to succeed. The bigger issue, though, is Tage Thompson has not looked like himself, really, at all in these playoffs. He appears that something is hampering him to some extent, even though he suggests that it's none of our business in the media. Fair enough. He's entitled to say what he wants. I would suggest we're entitled to ask what we want. And he was asked, and he said it's none of your business. Fair enough. If he's not hurt, I don't think that's the answer either. And so he doesn't look like himself. And if they don't have their top guys, especially up front, driving the bus, it's nice to put Luke Shen in, and I'm sure he can give you 12 to 15 reliable minutes and all of that. But if they can't generate up front, Luke Shen isn't going to help in that regard. And I don't think that's why they're putting him in the lineup in the first place. So I'm starting to wonder if there's just too much injury up front in that lineup from guys that are demanded upon, really, to drive the bus in Buffalo to have success against a team in Montreal that certainly the other night seemed to find their footing and gather some confidence along the way. And so long as they can play structurally sound, like they did the other night, Montreal, if guys like Cole Caulfield start to roll a little bit, and those type of guys, I'm wondering here if Buffalo's kind of run out of real estate. So I picked Montreal. I can play the tape on the brunch Sunday morning. I said, no, I think Montreal is winning this game. They did. And I don't see anything changing at this point. So I'm still sticking with Montreal despite the changes. I would have made the same changes. I would have brought Luke Schenn in. Why get him if you're not going to use him? I like Luke Schenn. And Alex Lyon's gone on a good run here, but you've got a couple of goalies, like so many teams do, that they're comfortable in using, kind of stubbed his toe a little bit, turn back to the guy who you know will be hungry and has played well during the regular season, and see if he can't not only give you serviceable goaltending, but have the change give the boys a little bump. I would have done the same thing, but I really like what I'm seeing out of this Montreal team right now, and I'd pick the Habs to win again tonight.
Vegas, despite the Cassidy thing, are in a pretty big series against the Anaheim Ducks. It's down to a best of 3. What's interesting about this series is each team lately has looked like, man, they could just steamroll the other, and then the other one looks like they're not even interested, and then they each bounce back with a good performance. John Tortorella after Game 4 is like, hey, I have no worries about my team. And he might be right. Now, they do miss Mark Stone. And the one thing about Mark Stone is he's the emotional leader of that team. Always has, right? Injuries are something that he's battled for a long time, and he's banged up again. How much, if any, do you think that the Stone absence factors into this?
Yeah, I think it's a huge loss. You talk to anybody that's played with Mark Stone during his career, I have yet to find a guy that doesn't just say nice things, but doesn't say glowing, shout it from the rooftop type things about what Mark Stone brings, not just on the ice, but in the room. And so I think that is a huge void to fill. In addition to that, what he delivers on the ice, like he's so reliable. You hear guys talk about the quality of his stick all the time, how he's just always in the road, so to speak, for the opponent, picking plays off, being in the lane so they choose to make a different, more difficult play that is less likely to have success. And the guy, he's functionally fast. He's not fast, but he tends to get where he needs to be and into the right position to be dangerous. And so I think missing Mark Stone is a huge loss. But beyond that, this series is really difficult to predict because every time I think one team is kind of taking a stranglehold, like I thought the other night when Vegas won Game 3, I was kind of expecting the older, more playoff savvy bunch to put the Ducks in not a stranglehold, but control the game the other night. And it was much the opposite. The younger, upstart, plucky Ducks were able to use their youth and their energy and their speed to their advantage the other night, and they took that game over. And so I honestly don't know what to think going into this Game 5. But quite honestly, there haven't been many series like that so far this playoffs. The Montreal Tampa would have been one of those series where I had no idea what to expect. But this is one of the others where I truly don't have a read. And I think those type of series are what makes each game, especially when you get to this point in the series, the best, because I'm going in blind and I truly don't have a reading on which team is going to be at their best. I would not be surprised if either the Ducks or the Knights won tonight.
Dave, before we go, just a very fun random question looking ahead to the summer. The salary cap's going to go up to $104 million next year. How many teams do you think are actually over $100 million in payroll by the start of next season?
That's a good question because it's starting to become a consideration. Like there are not a ton of teams that I think will just blindly spend at the cap the way they did when it was $80 million. Like, for some teams, $24 million is a lot of money. Really, when the cap was at $80 million, that's like a 25% increase on the cap, right? Like that's a lot, maybe a little less, but actually I'm trying to do math in the year. Anyway, point is it's a lot of money. And so, yeah, like that's what they have to keep in mind as the cap continues to go up. That just because it goes up doesn't mean everybody is going to spend to the absolute max. It's 30% increase, $25 million from when the cap was 80. That's a lot, right? So how many teams do I think will spend to at least $100 million? I'm going to go with like I don't even think all the Canadian teams will. Like I wonder about Ottawa. I wonder about Winnipeg. Wonder about Calgary at this point.
This season, if my math's correct, 14 teams were under 90 million.
Yeah. So like I'm gonna go 10 to 12 will be at 100 million. I think a bunch will be in the 90 range, but I think a lot of teams will sell it by saying, oh, we're trying to maintain flexibility for something that should arise as the year wears on, if a deal presents itself and we're in a position to upgrade the group. But from like, are we talking like, October 10th or whenever the season, I don't know, whenever the season starts next year? Is that what we're talking?
Yeah, like it's 104 next year, right? And then it'll be 113. And Dave, I'm going to say now, it's May 12th.
Yeah, so like September 30th, whatever the season is.
Yeah, the season.
I would say they had 10 to 12, honestly.
Because honestly, I think in the future, you're going to see a significant, I know there's always the floor and the ceiling. I understand that in the NHL salary cap, but I think the gap, we used to have a really big gap. Back when, in the late 90s, there became a significant gap in the NHL amongst the halves. You had Detroit and the Rangers and, Dallas and, Detroit and other teams who spent. And then you had a lot of teams who didn't spend. And the gap was significant. I don't know if it's going to be 2-1 like it was back then at sometimes, 80 mil to 40 mil. But I won't be surprised you see some teams at 110 in a few years and lots of teams at 90, 92, 94. Because they just, yes, the cap space is there, but the revenue for some of these teams isn't.
That's right.
I'm gonna be interested to see how we see what the cap is to what the actual cap space spent is.
Well, that's why the league needs to be careful how quickly you escalate the cap. I know the players absolutely want the cap to go up. Why wouldn't you if you're the Players Association? But if you don't have a collective group of ownership that's willing to spend that cap, that doesn't necessarily benefit the players either. And what it will do is it will decrease the parity in the game, which I think, maybe some would argue, I think they're wrong. I think the parity is a good thing, where you go into the season each year and you have 22, 24, 25 teams feeling like at minimum they have a chance to make the playoffs. You don't want to go into a season where 16 teams make the playoffs and 20 feel like they have a chance, and then you got 12 teams that feel like they've already lost from day one. You don't want that either. And so that's the delicate balancing act that I think the league is going to have to walk with the Players Association moving forward here. I get the players want the cap up, but you also want to maintain parity. And if the cap is high, but no one's willing to spend the money, that doesn't benefit the players either.
True. Davey, have yourself a wonderful day. We will chat with you on the brunch on Sunday. Have an awesome day.
See you, buddy.
There you go. That's Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM. Quick break. We will return. We got some golf for you, some NHL playoffs, the Edmonton Oilers, who's going to be the next head coach. That and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Smart, connected, community driven. Jason Gregor sets the standard for sports talk in Edmonton. Join the conversation on Sports 1440. Text Gregor 833-401-1440. Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 6% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See you in store for details and exclusion. The Brick, saving you more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth W football coverage online, elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Where did you send it to? Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game all day. Casino, sports, live dealer, lottery, instants, and more. PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials and see what happens. See what you like. We got the Jays at some point. You know what? They got to get a win, don't they? At some point. Now, Tampa's good. They're real good, but dare to dream at some point. Maybe the Jays can get a big win against Tampa Bay. We shall see. The Timberwolves and the Spurs. Man, I think the big man's up for a big game tonight. Would be my thoughts on that. Anyway, let's go in the community. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. And coming up later on this summer at the Royal Mayfair, of course, will be the Canadian Women's Open on the LPGA. Of course, arguably the greatest Canadian golfer ever, Brooke Henderson. Expecting her to be in town from the 17th to the 23rd. And to discuss that tournament, we're joined by the director of the CPKC Women's Open, Brian Newton. Joins us. Brian, how you doing?
Great, Jason. Thanks for having me on today.
Hey, I appreciate it. I guess, first of all, because we had Jennifer on our show, and she volunteered at a PJ event and was telling us how cool it is. Are there volunteer positions open right now for people to apply for the Women's Open?
Absolutely. The CPKC Women's Open takes about 1,200 total volunteers to put on. Edmonton, in the typical Edmonton spirit, has turned out in great numbers for that. We're up over 1,000 volunteers already for the event, but need that last 200 as we get into golf season and approach the event here. So there still are opportunities to volunteer at the event, and you can head to our website, cpkcwomensopen.ca, to register to volunteer.
Okay. And what type of volunteer positions are there? What do they range in?
There is a number of different opportunities. I believe there's about 20 separate committees, whether you want to be a marshal on a hole or whether you want to be VIP transportation and drive around, players and other guests throughout the week, or you want to work on, actually maybe an underrated committee is we have to put together an evacuation committee that helps all the players get off the course and if there's bad weather. But when the weather is sunny, those volunteers just sit around and watch golf. So that's an underrated category, the evacuation committee.
The evacuation committee. Okay. I like that. Yeah. It's only there. And August isn't usually an overly, super stormy month for us. So that could be a very good one.
It'll be 5 perfect days of sunshine.
Yeah, that'd be good. Brian, how do you know, as far as obviously Brooke Henderson's coming, but how far in advance do you know how many of the top golfers are expected to show up?
Yeah, so we're working on that right now and getting the commitments of all the top players. We are lucky with the CPKC Women's Open that we are one of the best fields on the LPGA Tour. Routinely, we will have 80 to 90 of the top 100 players in the world, including more or less all of your marquee names. It's a really cool year this year that we're back at Royal Mayfair for the first time since 2013, which when we were here in 2013, a 16-year-old amateur named Lydia Ko won the tournament. Lydia Ko has gone on to since be one of the greatest professional golfers of all time, has a member of the LPGA Hall of Fame, and she'll be back in town to, in a way, Brooke's our defending champion from last year, but Lydia's the defending champion at Royal Mayfair. So we're really excited to have her back.
Yeah. You look at it, obviously, Brooke Henderson's a huge draw. Are there the people to volunteer where, you have the scores, right? You carry it around to the crowd and people see, okay, you walk behind them and here's what the scores are. Are those positions open? I don't even know what the official term for that would be.
Standard bearers is the term you're looking for. That's a very popular committee. I do believe we have sold out on that committee already. But yes, we do have that position.
So how do people, if they want to volunteer, Brian, do they reach out to you? Who do they reach out to?
So if you go to cpkcwomensopen.ca, they can register to volunteer there. There's a full portal with all the information they'd be looking for. If they had further questions, they could reach out to our team through the email on that website. But head to our website for volunteers or for ticketing opportunities for all that information.
Okay. And then, for tickets, can you do single? Is it a weekend pass? Is it 2 days? How does it work?
You can do, it's kind of whichever you choose. We have single day options. We have week-long options. There's hospitality options if you're looking to do some business development and host clients and whatnot. Number of different opportunities. Kids under 12 do get in free to the tournament, so it's a great event to bring your whole family out to. Really, really affordable way to kind of take the family out to a professional sporting event. Number of different options depending on what you're looking for.
What's the biggest challenge of hosting this event?
Ooh, the biggest challenge is, professional golf is, for lack of a better term, a bit of a traveling circus when it comes to all the television infrastructure and tent infrastructure. And, we really build a village around a golf course. And when you're moving all that inventory around Canada and finding golf courses that, still have the room to fit all of the fixings that come with an LPGA Tour golf tournament, that is probably our biggest challenge. But we're so lucky here at the Royal Mayfair in 2026 that we have an excellent facility with the room for tournament infrastructure and just amazing energy from the whole city of Edmonton for the event.
Brian Newton joins us. He is the tournament director for the CPKC Women's Open, of course. So one of the main events on the LPGA Women's golf tour. It's going to be in Edmonton coming up in August from the 19th through until the 23rd. And there's volunteer opportunities. Obviously, there's tickets. You have suites, you have tents, you have day passes, all different things. How many? What's the max golfers you can have?
So we have 156 players in our field for the tournament.
156, and then how many make the cut on the weekend?
Top 65 in ties will make the cut.
Oh, geez, that's a pretty big cut down then. Okay, I like that.
Yes, it's competitive.
Yeah, very competitive. Now, working with the Mayfair, because we already got people obviously the course that they build it up to be super challenging for the members. What are they going to maybe experience? It's maybe different this year as you get into August from the course itself. How do you work directly with them? What are the stipulations that they have to meet kind of LPGA, I guess, certification for the course?
Yeah, the probably the toughest one for the members that we do hear the odd complaint about is that their rough will get longer as we get into August to get call it tour ready. The rough is significantly longer than on average for the tournament, so that takes some time to grow in. So if there's one thing the members are going to see, it's a little bit longer of rough, but they're just going to have to hit their ball straighter for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Well, we look forward to it. Once again, people can check it out. Just go to the website, CPKCWomen'sOpen.ca, and all the information will be there. It'll be August 19th to 23rd at the Royal Mayfair. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jason.
Should be a fun event, man. I remember I was at the Mayfair the last time they had it, and it's always great. Anytime, hey man, you watch any high level of golf up close, and it's like any sport. You watch it up close, you get a much better appreciation. So you have the best women golfers in the world in our city later this summer. Should be a lot of fun. Let's take a quick break. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We'll get to the Spec Report after the Con Man of Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. The wait is finally over. 0% financing on all heavy-duty trucks. And right now, it also gets 0% financing on all half-tons. NorthgateGM.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
2 games this evening in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Canadians and Sabres getting going in about 10 minutes time. Montreal up 2-1 in that series. And at 7:30, Ducks and Golden Knights from Vegas. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Sidney Crosby will be suiting up for Canada at this month's IIHF World Championship, replacing Islanders forward Matthew Barzal, who's out with an undisclosed injury. Charlie Coyle signing a 6-year, $36 million extension with the Jackets earlier today. In the association, just one game tonight. Wemby and the Spurs taking on and the Timberwolves tip off 6 o'clock. That series tied at 2 games apiece. And in the majors, the Blue Jays just about to get going, taking on the Rays in Toronto. We'll join that game in progress on our AM feed immediately following the Jason Gregor Show. Elsewhere right now, Yankees up on the Orioles 1-0. Pirates beat the Rockies 1-0 as well. Later tonight, Tigers in New York taking on the Mets. The Braves will host the Cubbies. Royals in Chicago, Twins and Marlins. Diamondbacks get the Rangers. Astros host the Mariners. And the Giants taking on the Dodgers. In the PWHL tonight, Game 5 between Montreal and Minnesota. Puck drop in about 10 minutes' time. The winner advancing to the league final against the Ottawa Charge. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
New at Papa John's. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing.
Again,
tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off $150
Facebook,
service
X,
with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think,
Wow, great hair transplant.
I want them to think,
Wow, great hair.
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Summer is calling. Is your vehicle ready for the road trip? Get ready for the season at Nisku Ford with offers that turn up the heat. Right now, you choose how you save. Finance your new vehicle with rates as low as 0%. Or choose massive cash rebates as high as $12,500. Whether you're hauling the boat or packing up the family, we have the Ford you need for your summer adventures. Start your summer upgrade at niskuford.ca. Nisku Ford, above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's after 5 o'clock. Welcome back. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Texting in at 833-401-1440. Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where, hey, you can get in. Can the Jays get a win tonight? We'll see. Timberwolves and Spurs. We got some Sabres. Habs, a doubleheader, of course, later on tonight. Anaheim and Vegas. So check it out with some odds boost at playalberta.ca. Of course, big story in Edmonton today is that the Oilers have essentially fired their head coach without firing their head coach. We'll get into it. I think it's not a good look for the organization at all. Nothing wrong if you want to fire the coach. We can debate if that's the right move or not. But there's no pressure. People keep texting, oh, this happens all the time. No, it doesn't. What the hell are you talking about? When does this happen in the offseason when there's no pressure? You let your coach go, and then you have if you're smart, you have a broad search. You interview multiple different people so you can learn as much as you can about your organization, because sometimes we all have blinders on. Right? Maybe there's things from the outside that you can learn about your organization. I would hope Bruce Cassidy isn't the only one they talk to. That would kind of be foolish to me. In the regular season, it's a little bit different. Lots of coaches are under contract. It's not free agent guys around. So, you have a shorter prospect pool to choose from. And yes, you usually have your guy in place. Not always, though, but usually you have your predecessor in place. But even in the regular season, we've seen teams fire their coach, and then it's 2-3 games later before they hire the replacement. That's happened. Lots of times, no, they have the guy ready right there. That's fine because you have a game. The Oilers the coach is doing nothing. Do you honestly think that, oh, geez, we can't fire Knobloch until we have his replacement on May 12th. Give me a break. Like, any excuse here to try to defend what the Oilers did here, I'm sorry. It's not a good look at all. If you didn't want the coach back, don't have the coach back. That's fine. He's got a contract. He's doing pretty well. Yeah, it sucks to get fired. It's part of the job. But to do it this way, now your coach is just twisting the wind. I just think it's classless. I think it's unprofessional. So anyway, let's get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. From running water to freeways, they do it all to make us function as a society. GS Construction. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Not so bad. I'm listening to your rant, and I'm not sure that you got anything wrong there, Jay. I think you got it exactly nailed.
Yeah. It's just not a good look for the organization, Spec, again.
Again? What do you mean again?
Well, the organization, look, I don't think it was a great look. Okay, well, Coffey goes away. Now we got to force him back in. Like, there's just been multiple moves here that don't look like the organization has everybody pulling in the right direction.
No, that part's for sure. I mean, it's going to take a special front office to, it's one we've learned in Edmonton. It's really, really hard to build a team that can get to a cup. Well, guess what? It's even harder to find that last couple inches and win the cup. And the group that's in charge of doing it has made a lot of mistakes here. They've botched their only 2 July 1sts have been disasters. And now we're heading into the next July 1st, and their very first coaching fire of this regime they're botching that. I think everybody around the league today is talking about the Edmonton Oilers in negative terms. Everybody around the league is looking at the Oilers going, man, what is going on there? Who does that? Why are they treating Chris Knobloch like that? Disrespectful. They got caught chasing around for a coach before they fired theirs. They look dumb. Everyone's talking about the Oilers around the league in those terms right now, Jay. And that is not what you want. That is not a good thing.
No, it is not. So, and here's the thing. So they're going to ask permission for Cassidy. I'm assuming now, whenever they make this announcement for Knobloch, because trust me, it's coming. You can't walk this back. Chris Knobloch, you think he's going to, hey, Stan, so, you know what? Well, they didn't grant us permission. You still want to be the head coach? Like, that's not going to happen. Right? So they're going to get a new head coach. So now I'm just curious about, other than Cassidy, how many people you interview? Because I hope it's more than one.
Well, it should be. That's the beauty of a summertime coaching replacement, right? Is the fact that you have time and you can interview some guys. And I'll say this, Edmonton has more financial might than a lot of teams in the league. And they also have a better team than a lot of teams in the league. I didn't say every team. I'm saying a lot. And they are one of the not so many, Stanley Cup contenders that are looking for a new coach. So there's a lot of guys that would put this job ahead of some of the other jobs that might be out there. And that means you should be able to interview 4, 5, 6 guys, Jay, and pick from among them, So yes, I would hope, like you, that we're not just interviewing one cat and just taking them and moving on. I think I know Bruce Cassidy pretty well. I think he's a good, I wouldn't complain for a second if they hired him, but I think the process has to be quicker than a one-day process, doesn't it?
Well, I would hope so. Yes. Right. Anytime, like the best thing in sports or in life, when you have time, use it. Right. Like there's no rush. There's no rush here. And time can give you opportunities to speak to Bruce Cassidy. You want to speak to Laviolette. Maybe you want to speak to Carl, see if he wants to leave Denver. Like there's other people to talk to, and you can get information. The fact that you're interviewing them tells me you respect their opinion. You think they could be a good coach. Otherwise, I would hope why else would you interview them? I'm going to interview someone for a job that you have no interest in hiring. At least I wouldn't think you would. So you get information, right? And so it doesn't, and at the end, it might still be, hey, we think Cassie's our best guy going in, but we're still going to interview other guys. But you might learn something during those interviews that could benefit your team. That's why you do it.
Oh, absolutely. Right. Again, when you're hiring in the mid-season, like when Knobloch got hired, you don't have as many coaches around from which to choose, and you don't have any time. You got to get it done quick. So this is the opposite of that. Usually when you have a coaching move in the summer, it affords you some time, especially when you're a team that went out early. You got tons of time. Well, teams like Vegas and Anaheim are busy playing hockey. You should be busy making your team better.
Yes, very true. So, the Oilers, they move on from here. Obviously, they just made some changes on their coaching staff. Like, I'm going to guess if Cassie or anybody else comes in, it's going to be a wholesale coaching change for the most part. Maybe your goalie coach stays because, goalie coach, no fan, they're not, they work with their goalie, and you don't always want to be changing your goalie coach, right? Like, there's something about continuity there. I think, Pete Aubry's only been there for 1 year. Now, he was here for half a year with Jari, and if you don't bring back Ingram and you have another goalie, maybe then it's not as important, but I'd like to think it would be the smart move.
Well, yes, I'm with you all the way, but listen, this is, there's I'm not even completely sure, Jason Gregor, that sorry, as an aside, I got a flat tire, and if I didn't get to the tire store, I was going to be needing a tow truck. So I'm here.
Okay.
As an aside, I would say to you, I'm not even completely sold that it's the coaching that is that needs replacement here. I'm not sure that whatever position we see the Oilers to be in, that I'm looking at it and saying, well, they're here because the coaching isn't very good. I'm not so sure about that. Are you?
Yeah. Dude, I wrote it in my article today. This is a pattern in Edmonton. Coach is the problem. Goalie's the problem. Coach is the problem. Goalie's the problem. Darnell Nurse, he gets mixed in a little bit, but it's usually the goalie and the coach. And those are the ones who get changed. Right? No one on the core is really it's funny. People are all upset Ryan McLeod got traded out. I'm like, they got Matt Savoy. It's a really skilled player. And I like Ryan McLeod, but he's limited in the postseason, and the numbers back it up. In his career, he has been outscored 34-16, 5-on-5 in the playoffs. That's over now, up to 65 games. And with Buffalo now, same thing. It hasn't worked out. So, but people will act like, oh my God, getting rid of McLeod and Fogle is what ruined the team. And I don't agree with that. They've had the same core team here all the time, and they just change the outside pieces. And hey, they got really close. Don't get me wrong. Knobloch got them really close. And now he had 1 year where he wasn't, at his best, and he pays the price. And so far, no one else does.
Yeah. I mean, it's a goofy thing here. Two things for me, Jay. I'm starting to look at last season, Edmonton's season, almost like the lockout, the bubble year. I'm not telling you it doesn't count, but playing 2 Stanley Cup finals in a row, coming back to a compressed season, playing all season, finding your game, and then 4 or 5 of your main guys get totally injured, and you go in the first round. By game 3, half your team's hurt. I kind of feel like no one could have coached their way through that. I'm not sure you could have GM'd your way through that. I think it was just destined to not be a great season. So that's how I feel about last season. But the other thing is, when you're a team that's come to 2 Stanley Cups and you've got to 6 and you got to 7 and you didn't win, like you're looking around under every nook and cranny to find that final, that final 2 wins out of 100 game season, right? 106 games or whatever they play. I need 1 more win. I need 2 more wins. It's what you do is you end up overanalyzing things. Oh my God, it's the coach's fault. How many coaches won 6 rounds the last 2 years? 1, Paul Maurice. Oh, it's the goalie's fault. How many goaltending tandems won 6 rounds the last 2 years? Nobody, except for Bobrovsky and the guy behind him who never plays. So I just feel like we're searching in Edmonton for this final inch, and I'm not sure we know what anyone really knows where to find it, and I'm not sure if you really can find it,
Yeah, like there's not one thing, but we'll see. And hey, maybe the new coach, the best way the new coach has success is if the core group decides, okay, you know what? We are going, and because the leaders have to be in place, your head coach, everybody has to be on the same page. But Leon Draisaitl said it at the end of the year. Yeah, he said it. We need to be better at taking the regular season. More importantly, like this year, they really learned nothing from the regular season. They could never figure out how to win 3 in a row at any consistent basis, right? They couldn't figure out how to play better defensively, other than they did a little bit down the stretch for, their numbers overall after the, because I got it from Sportlogic to show the numbers before Olympics and after Olympics were pretty jarringly different. If you look at their goals against, rush chances against, right, they got way better there. So, and hey, then they had injuries. And I've said this all along, injuries are, look at Minnesota right now, Spec. You got no Brodin, you got no Eriksson Ek. I really don't think you have much of a realistic chance to take on a healthy Colorado team. I'm not saying you would have won with them, but I just know your chances of winning without them are infinitely lower.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, I just feel like this year, it just wasn't there for Edmonton. It's not your year every year. That's sport. That's just, Gene Principe was telling me today, he says, my dad used to make wine every year. It was great wine every year. And then one year it wasn't so good. And then the next year it'd be great again. And sports is like that. It wasn't their year. That's fine. They had a crappy year. After going to 2 cups, they had a crappy year. The Leafs would take that in a million years. So my point is, are we overreacting by taking out a coach for that? Are we overreacting by, when your best player says, the regular season monotonous and we didn't try very hard enough in the regular season? How is Chris Knobloch supposed to be the one that sits next to Connor McDavid before every game and asks him to try harder? Is that what the coach's job is here? Because I don't think it is, Jay.
No.
I just don't think it is.
And I don't think try harder is necessarily McDavid's issue by any stretch of imagination, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Take it more seriously. This game's really important on a Tuesday night in Columbus.
Yeah.
Because that's what Connor said to us, basically, is we just didn't think the games were very important. Well, that's a professionalism inside the room. That's not the coach.
100%. Like these people think the coach can just magically take some words and get it into everybody's head. Now, I've said it many times since the season ended, Knobloch didn't have his best year. There's no debating that. I think Chris would be the first one to admit, yeah, you know what? Hey, probably should have held some guys accountable a little bit more earlier in the season. That's valid. But when players have a down year, not a terrible year, I don't think they had a terrible year, a little bit of a down year, just kick into the curb, but that's what they're doing. And we'll see if the next coach has more success. So we'll see. Quickly.
Let's hope they handle it better.
Yeah. Well,
let's hope the management puts it together here. It's an embarrassing day for the Oilers right now, Jay.
I totally agree. That's what I wrote. I thought it was unprofessional. The Vegas Golden Knights, does Gary Bettman come down and get involved in this and say, okay, let's grant him the permission to talk to other teams?
I would think. It's so stupid. I saw a coach today quoted saying, why don't we just have it in our contracts that we're free to go wherever we want once we get fired? What's Vegas trying to prove here? I guess I'm asking you that. George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon are awesome guys. I've known them for years. What are we trying to prove? What are we doing? Right? If you're so scared of Bruce Cassidy because he's such a great coach, what to fire him for?
Yeah.
I thought you just hired a guy that's better. So, here's what they're doing. They put the Oilers in a really bad spot, and they're having probably a pretty good laugh quietly about it. They put Edmonton in an awful spot. Somehow the story leaked, Jason. Somehow the story leaked. I'm not sure where. Frank did good work getting it.
No.
And now the Oilers look like a bunch of fools, and Vegas is having a laugh. I'm sure they'll give Cassidy permission within a day.
Yeah. Well, I'd have a guess on where it came from. I can't say for certain, but I'd have a guess.
Yeah, somewhere in Nevada. That's my guess.
See, I would think it would be the agent for the coach who's not getting an opportunity to get a new job.
If the agent even found out about it.
Well, I would think you probably would find out, because usually you'd probably talk to the agent first. Hey, we're going to talk to your client. Going to ask for permission. Oh, okay.
Maybe. Listen, It could have come from anywhere. It could have come from anywhere. My guess is it came from inside the state of Nevada. That's my opinion. I might be wrong.
All right. Okay. The only reason I don't say that is as Frank's kind of joked with me before, he doesn't necessarily have a warm and fuzzy relationship with the Golden Knights organization. So that's why I'm not sold.
Yeah, I know, but someone in that organization sure wouldn't mind planting a story that made their chief rival look like a bunch of clowns, right?
Yeah, I guess maybe. Yeah, that's possible. Very possible. Yep. Either way, and hey, but they gave him, that's why everyone who wants to blame Vegas, I'm going to know. If Edmonton does it, I'm not saying you are. But for those who are like, well, if Vegas didn't, I said, no. Starts with Edmonton. If Edmonton goes how you should go in the offseason, fire your coach, then everybody knows now there's a vacancy. Now we're going to ask for permission to talk to guys, because it'd be easy to go out there and say, well, hey, would you want to talk to Bruce Cassidy? Well, he's under contract. But yes, we would ask for permission. Now it's out there. Everybody knows it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, this has been a ham-handed day in that front office. And when I hope that they have the courage to have an actual press conference when they fire Knobloch and not just a news release, because I think there's some questions that Bowman and Jackson probably have to answer here.
Spec, have a good Tuesday evening. Have a great day.
All right, sounds good.
There you go. That's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We'll come back. We got Cam Tate. We'll update you on the NHL playoffs. You should have a goal. You should have like a goal horn or something, because there's been a goal. We'll update you when we return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. Mortgagestogo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say,
listen closely, because in the grand Sports 1440.
From the first face-off to the final, Sports 1440 is your home for hockey talk with live coverage, expert analysis, and pre- and post-game shows. We bring you closer to the game. Tune in 24/7 only on Sports 1440, Edmonton Sports Station.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. Hire Good provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99. And save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Did you know that when you play Colonial Golf Club, just 5 minutes from Edmonton and Beaumont, you can have a monkey be your caddy?
We interrupt this commercial to let you know Colonial Golf Club does offer great course conditions, greens that are always fast and true. We offer memberships, and we have a newly renovated clubhouse with a new menu offering great food and drink, but we do not offer a monkey as a caddy for you.
Oh, man. I really like monkeys.
For more details and to book, visit colonial.ca. Monkey not included.
Millions and millions of Canadians do not have a doctor. We have a crisis. Canada's Medical Clinic is opening clinics across Canada to allow everyone to have a doctor to call their own. Early detection saves lives. We've got some great news. You can call now and book an appointment with your new doctor. Canada'sMedicalClinic.com. And more good news. Canada's Medical Clinic Windermere is also now a walk-in clinic. We'll see you there.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Strudwick Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at StrudwickLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:29. Gregor, Hallie, Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Ooh, do we got another goal? Oh, this is going to be a juicy review. The one angle, the glove sure looks like it's in the net, Connor Hallie, but I haven't seen one. Obviously, I'm on air now, so you can check it out to see if that, what are they going to be able to see if, considering we made it a safe assumption the puck was across the line by measuring where the bottom of it was. They counted that as a goal against Edmonton. And I think I understood some people were upset, but clearly we all agreed that the puck was across the line. So they've made the precedent that you don't have to see the whole puck across the line. You just have to determine that it was. Look at where his glove is. Look at where that puck is. All you need is a camera angle but it's clearly in the net.
Yeah, it's up on end too. It's not the long way. You could see it through the meshing in the glove. So it should be a goal. And I think hockey fans can all agree this, even the Montreal Canadiens fans. It's in the net.
Yeah.
But will they find a way not to allow it?
Yeah, it has to be.
Has to be a goal.
Yeah.
This is the best view. It's from above. Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
That's a goal.
Yeah, it's got to be. So that'll make it an early lead for Le Sabre to Buffalo, which, of course, I'm not sure that's officially it. But, hey, I'll say this about the Sabres. They lose game 3, and they come back, and they are storming out of the gate right now. They are they're all over the Habs. It's 2-0. The shots are 8-1. It's been a great start for the Buffalo Sabres. You couldn't have asked for a better start. Basically, they're getting a shot a minute right now. And they got 2 goals in the first 8 minutes and 4 seconds. So they needed a good start, and they've had one. This could be maybe the first time ever in franchise history that they come back from a 2-1 deficit and win a series. Like, isn't that crazy for you, Cons? That they've never come back. Like, 2-1 it's not a 3-1 deficit. It's a 2-1 deficit. Like, lots of teams have come back from a 2-1 deficit in the NHL playoffs. To be 0-14 is just kind of wild to me.
That's crazy.
No.
They had some good teams that you would have thought. Obviously, they haven't fallen behind and come back, but that's wild.
Yes. So let's get to Cam Tate and the 2, and then we're going to we got a lot, the last half hour of the show. We're going to get a lot of texts, even some phone calls, 833-401-1440. We got, like, the text line is humming today. I love it. We'll get to all that. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. But first, Cam Tate and the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where their rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Here is Cam Tate's 2-minute warning.
Listen closely, because in the grand, cold lexicon of the arena, we are told over and over until the ears ring that sports is a strictly results-driven business. It is the Al Davis mantra, just win, baby, serving as the transactional heart of the professional franchise, a phrase coined during his tenure with the Oakland Raiders that remains the industry's North Star. When the wins pile up, the bums are in the seats, the merchandise flies off the shelves, it becomes the talk of the town, and the bank account looks pretty darn good. But when the losing starts, the mood sours from the locker room to the corporate offices and every other workspace where the team conducts its business. The bottom line becomes a daily watch, and when it dips even lower, everyone is on notice with a hawk-like intensity. Yet, we have forgotten a fundamental truth in this scramble for the ledger sheet. Every positive result in professional sports is achieved by a person, a warm, human body. We assume that the very term professional sports implies matters will be handled in a professional fashion, with hands-on trackpads ready to execute with dignity. But in Edmonton today, we cannot even faintly whisper such an assumption. The reporting from Frank Saravalli, a hell of a reporter, has peeled back the curtain on a situation that is nothing short of a mess, a staggering and grotesque revelation that defies the basic standards of organizational decorum. To hear that the Vegas Golden Knights denied the Oilers permission to speak with Bruce Cassidy to replace Chris Knobloch, a man who has not even been fired, is a development that words can hardly do justice. Consider the sheer absurdity of the state of play. Knobloch has signed a new 3-year extension that hasn't even officially kicked in yet. Why even have that conversation? Yet it persists over and over again in Edmonton, this relentless drumbeat to get rid of the coach before he has even had a chance to fulfill the contract he just earned. As a contributor paid for my opinion, I find the treatment of this fine man to be utterly disappointing and a mark of profound disrespect. As a fan, you too should be equally appalled and disappointed in your team during this very important offseason. The franchise has fumbled one of its most critical decisions with a strategy that appears to have been drafted on the back of a cocktail napkin by someone with a tenuous grasp of the fundamental. How very disappointing. 2-minute warning. This is Cam Tate, Sports 1440.
Yeah. There you go. So it's not a great day for the Edmonton. Now, like I said, this is not, you can do illegal things, you can do a worse thing. Did they just call that? They just reversed it now, Cons?
Yeah, goaltender interference. On the flyby, caught Dobish's stick, I believe.
What?
Martin St. Louis.
Where?
Well, that's the ruling.
Oh, my God. That is stunning. That's goalie interference?
That was a big challenge. You don't get that. You're down 2-0 and on the PK. St. Louis got some cojones.
Wild, man. Absolutely wild. That is crazy to me. They obviously know. I know. I watched that 3 times. Like, are you not allowed to go to the net now? That seems... Ooh, mama. That is amazing. Amazing. So it's 1-0 now. What a turn of events, man. Sabres fans, I think you have a right to be annoyed. I just watched the replay multiple times. I don't know. Like, if that's goalie interference, you're opening up Pandora's box to lots of plays now that are going to be called back. At least that's what I think. We'll take our final break. We'll come back. We got lots of texts because lots of you have thoughts on the Oilers' decision today and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports is Sports 1440.
From Low Tide to Kevin Karius and Jason Gregor, we deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
Tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week
to Sports 1440.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing. Tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at bashawconcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. bashawconcrete.com.
The sun's out, the pavement's warm, and that low rumble of a Harley rolling by? Oh yeah, that's calling your name. This is riding season, and if you've been thinking about a new ride, Harley-Davidson of Edmonton has the one that'll get your heart pumping. With a huge selection of new and pre-owned bikes, there's one waiting for you. Whether you're upgrading or just getting started. And while you're there, ask about test rides, because the only way to know is to ride it. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980, or at hdedmonton.com.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at bashawconcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. bashawconcrete.com.
My go-to move for getting out of the doghouse is catch of the week. Forget flowers. I head there, and the staff points me to the perfect fish and tells me how to cook it. It's easier than you think. Last week, I made an incredible salmon dinner. My wife was so impressed, she forgot why she was mad. It's my secret weapon. It works every time. They're just 5 minutes from Sherwood Park, but it's worth the drive from anywhere. Stop thinking about dinner and just go to Catch of the Week.
Make sure to visit catchoftheweekedmonton.com.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through Tuesday afternoon, the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. How you doing? Did you make your way home tonight? I'm curious, for those of you who haven't seen it, when you get it, we'll discuss it tomorrow early in the show. Watch that sequence on the Sabres' second goal and let me know your thoughts. It was deemed no goal at the end. It was reviewed the goal because the puck was clearly across the line, but then they said goalie interference. That is, that's something. I'll tell you. That is something. We'll see. And then Newhook comes back and scores again. This guy is on fire. Absolutely on fire. And do you remember when Montreal acquired him way back in the summer of 2023? And they got Newhook, and Colorado got a first rounder and a second rounder. A lot of people are like, oh, it's brutal. Oh, my God, it's a terrible trade for Montreal. Well, now, not every trade works out right away. But now you fast forward a few years and Montreal fans are like, this is unreal. This is unbelievable. We love it. So, yes, all depends. I'd have to look. Gons, can you check out the 2023 NHL draft and see who did Colorado pick? Maybe they traded the pick, but it was Montreal's pick. It'll be in the first round. I'd be curious to know who they got, and in that first round selection, I'd be curious to see who it was.
Mikhail Guliev.
Mikhail Guliev. Haven't heard about him, so that's working out. Yeah, because it was the second last pick of the first round. So Newhook for Mikhail Guliev, and I think they got a second rounder as well, right? If I'm not mistaken, maybe it was a second rounder.
It was a second rounder as well. Let me scroll down and find out for you.
Yeah. Oh, they traded it, and then Tampa Bay took it in Ethan Gauthier. Yeah. So there you go. Not worked out well for Montreal, but not right away. Not right away. That's why sometimes you can't always evaluate a trade right away. I still am surprised that some people think Edmonton didn't make a good trade for Ryan McLeod for Matt Savoy. When you look big picture, like, wow, they were in the window to win, and Savoy didn't help them win this year. I'm like, okay. But Ryan McLeod in the postseason, his last year with the Oilers, he got outscored 9-3, 5-on-5. He was very good in the penalty kill that year. Don't make no mistake, the whole penalty kill was awesome. And this year, he's been outscored heavily again on the ice with the Bruins. So actually, it was 4-12 with the Oilers. Now it's 3-9 this year. So as he's gotten older, it's actually gotten worse. His goals, 4 goals against at 5-on-5. So a lot of text flying in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Lots of texts coming in with you. Hey, guys, I agree with you. The Oilers management once again put themselves in a position to be made look like fools. They're like Sideshow Bob in a rake factory. Can't take a step without stepping on a rake and hitting themselves in the face. From Hampton. Steve, good visual. We all love. If you're a Simpson fan, you know exactly what we're talking about. Hey, Gregor, do you know if the organization didn't talk to Knobloch behind the scenes, possibly they gave him a heads up beforehand? Steve, I can tell you 100% that is not the case. Okay? That's not the case. Why would you ever give hey, coach, I'm giving you a heads up. We're going to look for other coaches, but stay tuned. Why would you ever do that? You wouldn't do it because you can't bring him back. How can you coach in a situation knowing that they were looking for everybody else to replace you because they didn't think you did a good enough job? Your players find out. Their players are like, well, I don't have to listen to this coach. These guys don't even really like him. So there's no way they did it, but I can tell you, I know for a fact, 100%, that is not the case. There was no conversation from the Oilers organization to Chris Knobloch that he was going to be potentially replaced. Not at all. But now the writing is on the wall. Hey, Greg's, I have a theory that being a sports fan is that you're disappointed 99% of the time. I cheer for the Oilers, Rough Riders, Poland National Soccer, and the Blue Jays. I'm disappointed all the time. That's why winning is so special. Patty, well, I guess it depends how you view winning. Is it only winning the Stanley Cup? And like I talk about, for Oilers fans, the last 2 years, you had 2 unbelievable months of lots of fun and excitement. And especially in 2024, it came down to Game 7, and it's 1-1 game. You're right in that game. Even when it's a 2-1 game, you're right in it. Yeah, the ending didn't go the way you wanted. But does that one day ruin everything? Maybe for some people it does. Everybody's different, but I'm like, I don't know if it can. Think about how much fun you had with your friends or your families for those 2 months, how many watch parties you had. You're like, this is unreal. That's the time of your life. And then one game they didn't win. But that one game doesn't erase all the fun you had. It just means that night wasn't fun, and the next few days probably sucked. But I don't know if I can look at it otherwise. So hey, Gregor, I listened to you and Spec rip the Oilers. Well, Brian Lawton said that happens. He said Bowman was open. He said he's going to look at everything. He has a fiduciary responsibility to do what he's doing. McDavid has us on watch, and we need action. Feel sorry for Knobloch, but he's getting paid millions for 3 years and did not perform this past year like he needed to. Warren. Well, see, when you say it happens all the time, Brian's saying that, but please show me examples of teams in the offseason, because we can go look at the hiring. I'm going to write an article on it. Show the last 10 years of coaches fired in the offseason. And a coach got fired, and then his replacement was there right before he got. No, that happens in the regular season, not the offseason. So it's misleading to claim this happens all the time. I don't disagree. If Bowman felt that he had to look up everything, great. But you can't be half pregnant. You can't, well, I don't think Chris Knobloch's the right guy, but I'm not going to fire him until I talk to the guy. And by the way, if you say that it was right to talk to only Bruce Cassidy, well, that would be wrong. Because how is that his fiduciary responsibility? He's only talking to one person. If you're going to fire your coach, then the responsibility, Warren, is to talk to as many as you can that you feel are worthy of the job, not just one. So I would disagree with that too. I'm sorry. I'd gladly talk to Brian about it. I know Brian quite well, but I would disagree. Yes, Stan Bowman said he's looking at everything. That's valid. Look at everything. But it's different when you look at something and say, hey, we're going to look at free agent defensemen because you need 6 of them. Sometimes you need 8. You only have one head coach. It's different, right? And players, even during the season, the players are competing for ice time. Coach isn't competing to be the head coach with his assistants. They're the head coach. He's assistants. You work together. But go back and tell me the last time a team in the offseason fired their coach after they had hired, or once they hired his replacement. That happens in the regular season. Not all the time. But I get why, because you got to hey, we got a game on Tuesday. We need a head coach. Now, sometimes teams have fired their coach, and then they still give an assistant coach. He's on an interim basis for a week or 2 days or one game, and then they hire another guy because they interview at least 1 or 2. So I would disagree that it happens all the time, and this is the way it goes. It isn't. Guys, I don't find it a surprise the Oilers are doing that. I don't think they've had much stability in coaching and management since the 80s. They've had one disastrous hire after another in management and coaching. They're not in a very one organization. Doug. Well, I guess I'll push back a little bit that everything's I don't think Ken Holland was a disaster. He's 5 years. He took over an organization that had made the playoffs once in 13 years. Once. And then he made the playoffs 5 consecutive seasons. One time he got to the conference final. His final year, he got to the Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. You literally can't get much closer than that. I don't see how you can call Ken Holland's tenure a disaster. You might not like some moves, but people overreact to the moves they don't like and then look at the end result. They got to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. What moves did he make that were so egregious that would have guaranteed if he didn't make that one move that they would have won? Honestly, which one? Jack Campbell? Maybe. But again, I can't say for certain because it's the old butterfly effect. Once you make one move, all the moves that come after it, if you say, well, if I wouldn't have made that move, then all the other moves would have still happened. We don't know that. Well, it's a what-if scenario, but it's not based on anything factual. So I don't know if I can say they've all been disasters. There's been some that have been, no question, but I'm not sure they've all been disasters. So, hey, Gregor, Vegas is in round 2 because Edmonton is out. Why? Because Vegas is relentless. We swapped the coach, got the boost, and there they are. Winchester. Do you think maybe Edmonton's out because McDavid, Draisaitl, Dickinson, and Henrique were hurt? Is that a possibility? And what if Vegas loses now that Mark Stone's out? Are they suddenly not relentless? Or do injuries impact the result? You answer the question. I can't answer it for you. You answer it. So, hey, guys, in true Oilers fashion, Cassie's going to sign with LA. Then what? Kevlar. Well, could you imagine? What are they going to do then? So, we'll see. And Gregor, I look at it this way. It's like people who are in a relationship, but they don't break up. They wait till they get someone else. They don't have the guts to be single for a while. A little bit different scenario, but yes, I can see your point that, hey, if you don't believe Chris Knobloch's a guy, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. That's your right as a GM and as a management team to say, you know what? We don't think Chris Knobloch's a guy for our team. So we let him go. You do it with dignity, respect, class, move on. Now we're going to find his replacement. No one could have, you could have said, well, I would have kept the coach. Fine. But you couldn't have argued that the process was unprofessional. Now you can. And to me, this was a very easy, fixable thing. Let Chris Knobloch go. Then you move on and make your coaching choice. Very easy to do. Coming up, we have Toronto Blue Jays action live here on Sports 1440 after Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by GoAuto.ca. Not only do they offer you great vehicles, they give a lot back to the community. Over $27 million they've donated to local charities and reinvested in the community where they work. That's awesome. GoAuto.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game 4 in Montreal. Canadian Sabres tied at 1 apiece with about 5 minutes left in the first period. Montreal heading to the power play. Later on tonight, Ducks and Golden Knights from Vegas. That series tied 2 games apiece. Charlie Coyle signed a 6-year contract extension with the Columbus Blue Jackets worth $36 million. The 34-year-old center produced 20 goals, 38 helpers in 82 games in Columbus last season. And Sidney Crosby will be suiting up for Canada at this month's IIHF World Championship. In the association, 1 game tonight, Timberwolves and Spurs from San Antonio. Tip-off set for just after 6 o'clock. That's a tied at 2 each. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays are in action right now, taking on the Rays, trailing 3-0 in the bottom of the third. We'll join